All right, welcome everybody. This is Azure Grand Assembly for April 2026. So if this is your first assembly with us, we have a series of announcement phases followed by a Q&A. Q&A is a great place to also use as an open forum to talk about any static recruitment or plans to do certain things in the game. You can also post an LFG. We also have time for folks if they have any sort of wedding announcements in game or anything like that. Keep in mind this is our community-wide assembly broadcasted from Final Fantasy XIV. Though we will be talking a lot about 14 content and stuff with Azure today, we'll also be mentioning some things from our Azure Wings as well later on towards the end. We'll have a couple raffles here today, 3 of them in between the phases. So the little breaks. We also have something planned that's very special that has not happened in 3 years at a Grand Assembly, so that'll be very interesting here shortly. Feel free to chat in any of our chats. We've got the Twitch chat, which is already going. We've got Grand Assembly VC chat here off to the side, and we've also got the in-game chat as well. For raffles, there will be a way to do that here. I'll explain when we get there, but it just mainly involves putting a 3-digit number in the non-14 chats that we have, or doing a /random in-game when we get there. We've got some cool in-game prizes. The prizes for the raffles today are all from FF14, so you do need to be subscribed and be able to log in to receive them. They are for Azure members, Reserve Corps members, and Alliance members. And we may have some guests watching as well. There's a good close to 40 folks in total right now just tuned in across the board. So good to see you all. And this will also be recorded and provided here in the near future as an archive video over on YouTube. So if you miss anything or need to step away, you can always check the archive video called Grand Assembly Cast. It's like a sort of second podcast, like it's a bonus podcast. So do all the recording here and then, yeah. So, without further ado, we will begin talking a little bit about activity rankings and then also our traditional new recruit welcoming segment, where we will read off all the names of those who have joined us in the last month since the last assembly. All right, let's get started. So, first off, as an opening statement, I do want to say, wow, activity is booming. Here in Final Fantasy XIV, we are seeing like record numbers of Azure activity close to usually what we see for an expansion launch. Like, 100 people online, that sort of thing. Sometimes expansions are usually more than that, but, it's close to it. So very good to see the attendance levels that we've had late patch. Stuff like Arcadian raids, seeing 2, 3, 8-man parties still, this late in the patch. Very, very cool. Those are excellent raids. Very, very fun raid series that they gave us here in Dawntrail. So that's something that we're going to actually talk about, a lot of event stuff here shortly. There is some procedures for grouping that they're not changing, but there are some things that we haven't done in a while that's coming back as well. So we'll talk about that when we get to the event segment here shortly. But overall, things are very, very good. We've had some fantastic recruiters stepping up their game, pulling in, new faces. There's FC lists everywhere still. Since the server opened, Midgard Stormer, our server in 14, was closed for 11 months. And then it opened for 3 weeks, and then it closed again. So, later on in this assembly, I'm going to actually talk about some of what we have done to address that, and options to still join Azure despite Midgard Summer being closed. So overall, when we look at activity, we also look across the whole community. We look at the wings as well, the wings of Azure, our guilds and other games. We've got a good set of wings, going right now across many different games: World of Warcraft, Warframe, Star Citizen, Guild Wars 2, Elder Scrolls Online, Destiny 2, and Star Wars: The Old Republic. going strong. Of course, they are all at different levels of activity and progress. Some of them newer than others, and but there are plans for everything. So as we continue to develop Azure as an overall gaming community with 14 at its core, we continue to see a lot of these other games be viable options for members that may either just for the night or for the week or for a month want to take a break and try out something else, play with their friends in another environment, and so on and so forth. And there are some needs in some of those guilds as well, including our FF14 FC, and we'll talk about those in a little bit. As well as I want to mention that we do have the next 2 quarters of the year following the one that we're in now. We're now in the second quarter of 2026, and it's going well. Our first quarter Azure Day weekend in March was fantastic. We're coming right off the heels of that. We had fantastic turnout, attendance. We had the Beastmaster Glamour contest. Congratulations to our winners. Those have been posted on the website at azurenet.com. That's azure-net.com. That's our main hub for everything. Azureinfinitum.com is our community site. It's where you're also going to find, the same feed of news is going to be there as well, but that's where members can join. And, there's a lot of other resources and rules and stuff like that you can find there too. So, grats to our Beastmaster Glamour contest winners for the screenshot groups. We had, between that and the walk-ons, the live show during Azure Day weekend, I think we had close to 100 million gil in prizes, so that was very cool. Another big shout out to Roken here on our council member Roken, for putting that together, being a driving force and making that happen, as well as a big thank you to our scout Leafit Silverwolf for just stepping up one day and saying, I'm going to double the gil prize for everybody. That was something. And I think we all really appreciate that. I made it very, really, really up the stakes there. It was really cool. So, big thanks again. The other highlights since our last assembly also include the Azure Grand Duel Tournament 30. That's our long running championship 1v1 PvP tournament where crowds gather to watch our champion and other contenders fight for the Infinitum Championship and whatever the current prize pot is as well. For those who don't know, the Infinitum Champion is a special rank that conforms its permissions to whatever actual universal rank that someone has. Our current champ, Vidario Superstario Sanarmore, has been our champ now for over 1 year as of Azure Day weekend at the end of March. And so he is going for the 2-year record set by past Infinitum General Philana Breeze, who actually reigned for 2 years as a champion with 2 different title reigns. One was a short one and the other one was 2 years. It was wild. So Vidario is hot on that trail. We do have some more information about the next tournament coming up in just a moment for Duel Tournament 31. And we have also had some activity policy updates to address our roster capping. We've had some recent assist meetings. That's Azure Scout Squad Initiative and Support Team, ASSIST. All of our scout ranks are mid-tier ranks that are support for Azure. And some good talks with all of our recruiters and how we are addressing FC capping consistently. So right now we've been able to make some space. There's a good 20 to 25 spots available in the free company, roughly. It fills up quickly, and then it comes back down. It fills up quickly. So we're having higher turnover rates because we do have high activity and, interested parties joining, and then, folks that are very inactive that are being, cleared off. In the past, some of these, activity lengths were longer, but we have to make it, bring it down just a little bit. It's still pretty, understandable, but, I would be mentioning this one more time here in a moment. But overall, the status of our community is doing very well. And there are plans to, ramp up content online, as well as return to our regular, video and reels, which I have mentioned before. Due to getting sick a couple times this year, that kind of slowed down for me. So I'm, back on that trail again. But I think overall, everything is very smooth. Everything's very smooth. And it isn't abnormal for Azure to have this level of activity, but coming from, a very long, server being closed, a period of that, and a good while of people taking breaks and kind of, some not really feeling Dawn Trail as much, over the past year or so, roughly, maybe since late 2024, we've basically been holding the line as far as, trying to get, recruits and keep events, as active and hyped as possible. So that's all gone really well in the meantime. But as soon as the floodgates opened, and as soon as we got to a certain point, even without the server opening, there is a point where you do get a community to start snowballing, and I believe that's kind of where we're at right now. So all of the recruits coming in is not just us, posting ads or targeting via telerecruitment. We're also getting a lot of notice from people's friends or people in the server that see how active Azure Infinitum is, folks that find Community Finder or Reddit posts, and then of course when we see curious FC lists coming by to see what we're like, sometimes we have recruiters that are even around the estate that see them and, oh hey, are you interested? Okay, cool. And then of course applications. So there's a lot across the board happening right now. But overall, just, the state of Azure Infinitum right now is very, very good. So what we want to do is, we want to remind everybody that getting to a capped roster and getting to where we're at now and having, great attendance and things like that, that it's not a sign to slow down, nor is it a sign of completion. That is actually a first necessary step that I believe to continue to increase activity and work on that, that goal of ever increasing the percentage of online to offline ratio. This is something that does actually mean a lot to a lot of players, especially MMO players that have looked for guilds for a long time, that, you see a percentage of activity and you kind of get an idea of like, how hard the pulse is beating in said community. So we ever seek to get the best result in that activity ratio. And it's not for stats, it's not for clout or any sort of ranking. This is literally to help provide basically activity around the clock. Folks that log in at any time of the day and might be able to say, okay, great. There's a lot of folks to be able to chat with, being able to, get people to respond when you want to do a, dungeon run or something like that. Keep in mind though, that every community, including Azure or anything else, will always have those dead times at night, or maybe moments where people are just busy. People might just be busy, and you just might have to check the FC log or the menu, and note, oh, well, 75% of people are AFK or asleep, or there might be those moments too, or just busy. So, just a shout out to, as a reminder, if you ask for roulettes and nobody answers you, don't take it personally. You just never know. Maybe there's a situation where only one person responds and everybody else is just busy sometimes, and that's totally normal as well. But the higher our activity percentages, the more things like that become less common. And that's just kind of something that we're always seeking to achieve. So we not only want to make it possible for people to get involved more, but also help provide that environment where you log in and you have an active, friendly guild, ready to take on anything together, and everything's fun and going well. And, just overall, we want to continue to create this very organized, very active community where you can find that kind of thing in. So that does mean a lot to a lot of people and for a lot of different reasons. And, that's one thing that we take into account very strongly, because if you do not have active leadership and you don't have some kind of, support, or if you don't have an active core, you don't have strong recruitment and in an open mind to all kinds of players, then an FC can stagnate very, very quickly that way. And we've got a lot of experience here, especially amongst council. We've got MMO veterans, going back multiple decades. I myself leading communities for 20 years, and at least you can all be assured that Azure is in very, very good hands. And 12 years in, it feels like we're still learning all the time. We're always learning. We love community feedback. There's a lot of places for that, like this assembly as well. But overall, just a statement on our overall progress and status right now. Very, very good. So leading up to an expansion like the one coming in FF14, I like to look at that as a milestone, something to kind of put a goalpost at and say, okay, well, by 8.0, we would like to see this. We'd like to see that. And the meetings that are had twice a month with assist members and also council, it's very rare, but sometimes we may not need a council meeting is because we also meet at the assist meetings, and then we'll also be on the same page all the time in council chat. But typically there's a couple meetings a month, and during those meetings we talk a lot about the road ahead, what that means, and what we need for that, and kind of pre-planning, sometimes 6 months in advance. And it's very normal for an expansion year for us to look at the next expansion and go, okay, so we're 6 to 8, probably 6 to 7 months out from an expansion. And we'll say like, okay, so we're going to, work on these things. And right now, where we're at right now is actually where I would normally plan for us to kind of be at for an expansion launch. We're here. We've arrived really early at this level of prosperity and activity. So, I have been talking a lot to people about what will continue this year as far as growth and goals will be not just activity and fine-tuning the activity ratio, but fine-tuning the systems and the structure behind it all. So there is going to be a revival of the Azure Skysguard general team, and I'll be talking about that in a minute, as well as our interest in bringing people up through ranks a little bit more. Of course, that pace, has gone well. There's usually, a handful of lieutenants that join the council every year. But for those that, haven't been with us more than a year or two, Azure's council is typically aimed to be a 22-man team, usually a couple generals to every, so many lieutenants, and our lieutenants represent lower council, our generals represent upper council, and with, those two forces hand in hand, creating the Azure Council, helping lead assist across, the board, watching over the whole community. And we've been outputting a lot of effort from, the amount of people we have had in council, which is about half that number. And over the past couple of years, we've done exceedingly well, just pumping out whatever we can, including, everything that I've tried to do tenfold versus what I was able to do, 3-4 plus years ago. Even my own personal, involvement is tripled probably since 2023. So there's a lot of stuff going on in my life that is now at a very good place, and that's allowed me to basically go Super Saiyan since 2023. So we're really cooking with gas now per se, and our council is excellent. We've got a leadership team that has been like no other that I've ever seen before. They are always active and doing something. Even if you don't see somebody all the time, you might say, oh, I haven't seen that general in a long time, or I haven't seen that lieutenant. Rest assured, there's something in the background they're working on. Even if real life stuff comes up, we always, try to stay understanding and find things that can still make their time count. So, just keep that in mind too. Over the years, that always comes up in guilds, oh, I don't see this leader, where are they at? You can always ask. Don't forget, you can just ask, and we will say, oh, well, they're in charge of, these 3 things. They moderate Discord. They're helping, build airships in the background, and, they work all day. So it's hard to find them in the daytime, and then people go, oh, okay, that makes sense, but, I like to keep in mind, how perception can be reality a lot of the times, and also reassure you guys that, everybody in that list of council and a lot of our, almost 100% of our scouts are very involved. And as much as I've always loved our community, I think this era of our community has got to be the most active and have the most hands-on ranks that I've ever seen. I mean, we did reboot Azure Council about 3 years ago. We established a council charter, which is an actual set of rules that council themselves follow. And since that reboot, the team has been, totally just exactly, what we want. We just need more folks ranking up. So we're very interested in that. If anybody here is interested at all in the future of their, rank career per se in Azure, Just know that even stepping up to scout, which is not leadership, but support, which can lead to leadership, is always welcome and something that's always needed. And it's very much what you make of it. It's, we have a system where it's designed by folks that are not fond of, past styles of guilds where they're like, oh, you have to be on this much, you have to do this much, blah, blah, blah. It's very stressful, etc. A lot of people don't realize that they may already be doing a lot of what we would already, be interested in. If you're just an active player, you like helping people, you want to be connected to the support channel so you can see recruitment and event reports and be able to, post something if needed. You can be like, oh, hey, I noticed, not just bad stuff, stuff like, oh, well, this player, really was interested in doing this with some people, or we have a newbie that, might want this done in the game. And then that helps tell the whole team, and the whole team can go, okay, cool, let's target that and get that person what they need, et cetera. So it's really good for us to have, these kind of updates in the assist support channels. And then those that kind of retain that for a while. If you get into event hosting, that's also, highly needed. Then they will graduate to, being offered leadership. And then leadership, it's a little bit of a different take, but it's still a matter of, having that stewardship, that mindset of being a steward to the FC, to the community. People are not expected to play all of our wings or anything like that. It's per game. We have wing commanders for our wings as well, which I was also going to bring up later. But, so the whole system is going very, very good. I really enjoy the fact that we have universal rank system and other methods that kind of makes it easy across the board, just like the activity policies I'll be talking about in a little bit. We've got some universal ones for all wings, as well as a couple unique things to talk about too. So overall, very good, everyone. And our membership has been fantastic. We've got so many new faces here. It's people that I may have not gotten to talk to you much yet. If you're new to us and you're here listening, I want to. I like to get to know as many people in our community as possible. We are always growing, and I'm always going 100 miles an hour. So please forgive me if I haven't had a chance to reach out to you all. Yeah, we have had more recruits since the server opened in March than we had almost all year last year. Can you believe that? And we usually would see a couple join per week, but we're seeing, 2 to 5 plus people joining daily. Last couple of days, a little slow, but that's how it's been for, a couple months now. Very, very cool, and don't forget, some of the wings also seed each other. You've got folks that are, coming from 14 and joining us over in Warframe or WoW or stuff like that. You've also got folks that we meet, uniquely over there in any of those, we even, just take, for example, a Destiny 2 recruit who came in and, spent the last 6 months with us in 14 and became scout captain. So you never know, and it's just great to meet everybody and have all these gamers together and enjoy something like this. And I believe personally that we can take this much further. We can really, really thrive here in Azure, but it has to be done carefully. It has to be done, not super slow, but within reason. And I do want everybody to know this is our shared victory. This is something that is not just, my project. It means a lot to a lot of people. So I get people that, because I wear a lot of hats. I'm friend, FC master, counselor, you name it. And we've had a lot of people, say, well, Azure inspired me to hang in there during, my final exams, or Azure, was there when I was, down and out when, they lost a family member or a pet or something, or this gives me a space to log in every day because I'm, disabled at home or something like that. People will, say a million things to us, and it means a lot. So this is so much more than just, running a game guild. Like, to us, this is a community where we can, come together under a banner with similar interests and really, have a lot of fun. That's what it's all about, right? So that is the status of our community. I think that sitting here in April of 2026, November 2nd, 2014 was a long time ago. We've all learned a lot of stuff since then. I know I have. and I'm very positive and just, having an outlook to the future. And I really like the idea, of where we're going right now, and just everything we were able to accomplish in recent time. Last year was a building year. It was a big gathering of resources and projects and stuff like the Alt project, the Depot project, some wings that were getting established. And then of course keep in mind that I'm having to, it's a personal goal of mine to complete as much as I can of every game that we're involved in, to be able to have access to stuff to help people and see things and know what things are. So it's a lot of work, and that's, not to mention the the amount of content that we have, that we're trying to push out too. Sometimes it's 300 posts across 14, websites, every couple of days. So we're just going to keep growing. We're going to keep thriving. And, I want to say thank you to all of our members for being the best members of any community I think I've ever been in my life. We have so many people who've been here for a long time, and so many new people who respect the rules and understand, why we have them. It's very much, needed because, like I said, this is our shared victory. So what we are able to produce here together, what everybody contributes to, it all adds up. This is all something that adds up. I mean, even one person who's brand new here, who's just positive, cool, respects the rules, plays the games, whether you're a talker, whether you're quiet, whether you're a newbie, whether you're experienced, veteran, doesn't matter. It all adds up. It all adds to the whole. So thank you very much, members of Azure. Okay, so let's take a minute to welcome everybody that's joined us. This is a special tradition of ours, and we do this by logging recruitment reports. So real quick, the reason why we have these reports, just like the event reports, is because this provides us with extra information that we wouldn't normally all have as a team. When an event happens, attendance is recorded. If there was any issues or things to work on, it's posted in the Scout channels, and we are able to see, okay, maybe 20 people are at work and they're not there at the event, but then they get to read it and they go, oh, I see what we need to work on as a group. Cool. That's why we have event reports, and our recruitment reports, that tells us as well if any players have, say a player who's deaf joins, and they can't, VC is not going to matter for them in Discord. So, there's stuff like that, and we're able to share that with the team. If someone's brand new and there's something they're really wanting to do, sometimes that's in the recruitment reports too. So this kind of helps us all know who's joining where, and it's logged per game even. So we're going to go down the list, and some of these might also be alts of people that are already here, but I'm just going to name all the names. So if a name is not named, please reach out and let us know. We have like a 99.9% accuracy of logging all recruits. So going back to our last assembly, let's see, I did not note the date of the last assembly. Let me scroll up. Last assembly was the 21st of March. Okay. Or was that when it was announced? No, that was when it was. Okay, 21st of March. All right, so big welcomes to Jock Smith, Apop Tigma, Midas Skulltouch, Goliath Primal, Sage Witch, Samurai Shampoo, great show by the way, Sweetest Taboo, let's see, Clayton, let's see, that was over, Zikri Hex, Mikey Massacre, Lucian Moonlight, Jamal Watts, Ash Alandriel, Idle Dreamer, Jamalton Kapunki, Fairy Wings, please forgive me if I butcher any of these, Vuta, Bab Dukala, Strider Luminous, Magnus Mavish, Kaus Zweihander, Rune Tova, and there may be names that, might have also checked out or left or changed names since, but, it's very few, but Rune Tova, Ye Kasamigura, Zarielion, Rhaegar Ragnarsson, let's see, Kanakuri over in Warframe, Kyoto Liar, Quiet Iron, Dante Black, Fake Idol, Shura Kira Kirigakure, I had to pull out my Japanese for that, Blazer Contrail, Akko V, Denton Clay, Ayala Lee, Freya Wolfheim, Butterboy, Urso Ice Mantle. We have Dustin Texira, Shadow Yao, Izuma Akirius Ray, Lorcan Salvater, Zara Desiris, Jakob Sipak, Spilt T, Ziavo Junior, I think I got that right, Sarah Vanille, Krona Ravensbreath, Filary Tudri, Kasumi Shikibu, Mastrix Vermilli, Natasha Emeritus, Arius Ravenborn, Salucia Astera, Hellfire Satirus, Vec Ellie, Pieberry Lucia, or Lucia, Ronan Dreadvale, Unruffled Nugs, Rodozan Mimizan, Sail Atat, Davidson and Numa, Loja Gohan, Ren Cryptus, Rosa Bell, Pumpkin Pudding, Abigail Romano, Lil Fishing Way, Juan King, it's either Gkar or Gkar Dax, William Gamary Blood, Ash Fairy, Cecia or Satia, I think it's Cecia, Florence, Markal Selful, Akatora, Mila Nero, Ugdaf, Leora, Dio Devilcrease, Wiener Boy, yeah. Miyumi Nyoyaska, Mizuha Komine, Loan Elidil, Stir Fry, Azure Jin, Unnamed Traveler, Karon Ursanot, Katrina Lin, Sente Hente, Lolil Elaine, Mirai Nightmare, Loma Colina, Aleko Winter, Ms. Tress, Rar Meow Meow, Celine Spellward, Oro Sedin. And that is all of our new recruits within the last, let's see, almost 30 days there, but almost about a month since the last assembly. Welcome, new members of Azure Infinitum across the board. Those names covered Warframe, Final Fantasy XIV, World of Warcraft, Destiny 2, I believe 1 or 2 from Star Citizen. Welcome in chat there. Welcome everybody. All right, and a couple, there might have been a name or two there. There was also a returner, but why not an extra welcome there? All righty, so welcome new recruits. And just keep in mind that new recruits in Azure Infinitum, we require about 3 to 7 days of activity that we can tell. If those that join and then they're gone for 20 days after, they will remain recruit. If per our new inactivity policy, recruits that do not, they have a character that's not even at GC level yet in 14, and they're gone after joining for 30 days, are removed. However, anybody that is removed for inactivity, no matter what level, can always reapply. And then, of course, once gaining membership after 3 to 7 days of activity, can access things like the Chocobo Stables, the FC Chest, and more. Don't forget that we have free Thavnarian onions in FF14, a very expensive item that's also a pain in the butt to grow. It takes about a week of real time, and it's easy for them to die. We provide those thanks to General Terry McKinney's Onion Project. That's been going since 2020. That's 6 years of gardening for our free company. Members can ask for 2 a week. 2 a week. And all you got to do is just ask a lieutenant or above. Some scout captains are also equipped with onions. Don't forget, we also have Cracker Root in the FC chest. You can train birds at any time. It's helpful to everybody. And don't forget to put your birds in there. You can always unlock the My Feisty Chocobo quest over in, I believe it was South Shroud, and start training your bird. Birds up to level 20 can help a lot with time-worn maps, Allied Society quests, MSQ questing, a lot of solo stuff, you name it. Not a bad thing to have. And don't forget, on Thursdays, we also have the Chocobo EXP buff up, which is great in pair with our map events, because you'll usually get the challenge log ones, the Bosom Buddies challenge log 1 and 2 during that event as well. It's also an event at level 60s. As low as 60 can join. So there's a couple events in our lineup that are good for lower level members as well. All right. Again, welcome again, guys. So moving on, let's see. We're going to, this is our opening. So phase 1, we've got some very cool things coming up here at this assembly. So without further ado, before we continue the rest, I would actually like to host that very thing I mentioned that has not happened in 3 years. And I'm going to move Reika, my character here, to the front. Let me remove the podium for a second so we have a little bit of room. All right. So I would like to call newly promoted Lieutenant Darnyle Diamond Dust to the front here. So as I mentioned, Azure Council is growing, and we are always looking for more folks to step up as well. Darnyle has been, I think, logged over 20 plus events that he's handled on his own as well, and has been a scout for quite a while now. Been a big driving force in map nights, and highly supportive of the community. Congrats on your promotion, Darnyle. And if you have any words, please share them with the community, whether it's here in Stage VC or in text. Feel free. Darnyle is our newest Azure Council Lieutenant in our leadership team. Darnyle Diamond Dust. Insert witty comment here, he says. Okay. All right. Thank you, Darn. Just wanted to take a moment to recognize your promotion. Now, we have had lieutenants join us last year, but it has been 3 years since the promotion of a new Infinitum General, the High Council rank. So first off, let's introduce one of our first new generals here. General Kokoziko Zuzusamu, please come forward. So first, I would just like to say that, we want to recognize Coco here, who has been in our Azure Council since March of 2025. It's been a very, very awesome year having him on the leadership team. He's been instrumental in redefining our Monstrous Mondays event. Many of you may have, been to Monstrous Mondays, and, whether you were confident or a little worried about trying out an EX trial, walking into, some of 14's, latest big trial, extreme trials, and, we're met with Coco's excellent teaching and patience. Some folks, may have memories of that. Some folks have gotten clears, and we're just really excited to have, such a wonderful teacher. His consistency that he has carried the event has been incredible. This is a long time to, it's been more than just his time in council. He has been involved, for a good couple years now. So, a very active and reliable lieutenant in the past year, working well with all levels of our community, maintaining a grounded and team-focused mindset, and demonstrating strong consistency through his time in council. Coco, you have embodied the values and stability that we want reflected in the top leadership in Azure Infinitum. Thank you and welcome to the Azure Skies Guard. And of course, our generals have what we call the first seats. This is a special title for our Skies Guard officers. Our generals, Coco is named First Recon of the Infinitum, First Reconnaissance. Coco, if you have any words or wish to share anything, you may do so. And I'll read here what Coco put in chat. Coco says, thank you everyone for letting me guide all of you through Monstrous Monday so far. I was just checking chat there. And I look forward to continuing my efforts to help everyone feel comfortable in the fight. All right, and let's see here. Just give it a second to type things. Coco says, I'll do my best to make things reasonable and easy to follow along. Just bear with my goofiness from time to time. Hope to see all of you at the new Monstrous Monday Extreme on the 4th of May when we start learning NOO Extreme, or the Unmaking Extreme. All right. Thank you, Coco. And if you just stand here to my left or right for a moment while we bring up the second Infinitum General promotion. Please come up, Infinitum General Roken Bow. All right. Congratulations on your promotion, Roken. So Roken has been with us in council now for quite a minute. He has been a steady, level-headed, highly supportive member of the team, taking initiative with community content, helping host events for quite a long time now, many months, contributing to projects like the reboot of Azure Dungeon Delvers Deep Dungeon event, as well as coming up with fun stuff for the community like that Beastmaster Glam contest. That was quite elaborate and good, month-long thing that we did. It was very fun. It continues to represent these ideals and the values and stability that we look for in our generals, in our upper tier, really within our leadership period, but, embodying that for quite a long time. Thank you, Roken. If you have any words you'd like to share, you're welcome to. Of course, if you want to use the hand raise feature on stage channel, you can also do that if it's easier to talk. Just up to you. Either one's fine. Fourscore and 7 years ago, he says. We got a couple requests to speak. Just 1 second here. Roken says, honestly, I was very surprised at the nomination. I've just been having fun and sharing what ideas I had. Okay. Okay, Rick. We'll have a moment too for requests to speak. Yeah, we'll have a moment for that. We have our Q&A, but we also have a moment too right before that for any, yeah. Okay. Yeah, just going along with what Roken said too is, a lot of times with our leadership, what is most important to me when I look for members of our leadership team and bring them up, bringing new members up, if from council to general, lieutenant to general, into council, from scout, is folks who love our community and love community, period, and respect the rules and are not trying to, end all be all, or try to be the best at the game in every way. Of course, we have a very strong stance against elitism. And so it's extremely important to me. It's much more valuable to me to have somebody who, whether they do high-end content or not, who loves the community and, has the availability and reflects those standards, and is respectful to the council, myself, and the rest of Azure and all of you. That matters a lot. And, so there are a lot of guilds that will see someone go, oh man, these guys, they're hardcore and, they should be promoted because they're just able to run any content or whatever. And if they can, that's a bonus, but that's, we look for folks that are community minded first. So, I'm very happy today to present 2 new Infinitum generals here on our team, joining Defensor, first Battle Master of the Infinitum, and first Shield of the Infinitum, General McKinney. We now have a team of 4 generals and a wonderful team of lieutenants. We will continue to, look at high council promotions throughout the year, while also introducing new members of the Azure Council, so we can continue to develop and also reestablish the order of the leadership team, that we have also had in the past as well. Again, even with 11 people in council, we've been outputting, 3 times what previous iterations of our council and, ancient history, had. So I'm very proud of that. Even if we never had another person join for a long time, I believe our team is so solid, that we're doing really, really well. Of course, there's always room for improvement. There's always things to learn, of course. Nothing is perfect, but we do appreciate everybody's support. So recognizing these 2, I remember, both being brand new recruits, and the years of support and what they have contributed to Azure. Just wanted to recognize them during this general Skiesguard general induction ceremony here, along with our new lieutenant, Darnile. Very good. Thank you, guys. I'm going to get one quick memorial photo real quick. One for, so I can do this really quick. I can just remove, I've got like 5 minions on my screen, so you don't have to remove them. I can do that via G-pose here and just get a good shot here real quick. First time we have had general promotions in quite a while. And that's just simply, based on availability and the amount of folks we have ranking up. And time, of course, is always a factor, as well as interest. All right, we got a good shot there. It's for memories. All right. Darn, you want to join us for one picture real quick so we can get a good shot of all promotions today? Cool. All right. Let me see. Could I get one with you standing, Darn? It's maybe in between Coco and I? Yeah. Okay. Coco and Reika. Okay, cool. Just real quick here, and then we're going to move on. We have a lot of stuff to talk about, so. Like how I go to remove my minion, which is my my hunting hawk named Swiftwing, aka Swifty, and Swifty says no, I'm staying anyway, even though the option is pressed to remove. Okay, all right, thank you guys. You may rejoin the high table up here. All right. New and promoted members of the council, congratulations. Okay, so looking at our rankings online, for those that don't know, the online lodestone rankings are generated by FC credits, which are generated by seals, which you get when you turn in gear at your grand company, or do anything that gives you seals, such as squadron stuff or fates, although the gear turn-ins are going to be much, much more than anything else and give you a lot at one time, especially gear that is level 70 plus. One small quick tip from me is to get those retainers up so they can start bringing you gear on quick ventures every hour that can net you a ton of seals if you gather them up all day, go turn them in, grab things like Coke and Glamour Prisms that sell all day long, and of course you're helping FC ranking as well. A lot of people do not know that. Now, we don't want this to be done in such mass that it, massively boosts our rankings or anything, but it does show some level of activity, and it does create a win-win situation where our members also get gil and seals as well. That's very, very helpful. And the other thing too is that we have, we have months and weeks where we track our rankings to kind of look at overall activity. Of course, this is contributed by dungeon clears, crafting. This is contributed by, people doing savage raid clears, leveling in general, and of course joining the FC. So online on Lodestone, when you look at the the rankings over there, the standings as I call them, keep in mind that that is a great testament to overall activity. However, in recent times, there has been an increase in people who have found ways to abuse this, and we have seen clearly from the individual, the individual rankings of the GC rankings. There's something where it's called GC standings, and it's individual players and their leaderboard on the GC. And when you see one or two people on the GC ranking and they have an astronomical amount of seals, like tens of millions above everybody else, more than one whole FC like Azure would get in a year, and they do it in a week, they're boosting. And the boosting is done through mass turn-ins. We're talking 10 to 20 to 100 trips over and over and over every day for, a few days to try to turn in, more seals than what a whole FC has in activity credits. And when they do this, you can tell who's responsible because it's one person in a whole FC doing it. And we see that with several of the FCs that are above us in the rankings. So as far as legitimate activity goes, we are top of Midgard-Sarmar, and we remain top of Midgard-Sarmar, and we do not recognize the boosters that are above us whatsoever. So we continue to announce the rankings based off of the legitimate activity, and we will discount, those that are either known for mass recruitment, where they're just spam biting people and their FC is like total chaos, or the ones that are boosting, and the ones that are above us are boosting terribly. So, congrats to legitimate high activity and remaining top of Midgard-Sarmar, as well as congrats to those who have remained active and are currently plowing through MSQ. Even if you feel like you're not contributing too much, you really are. You're contributing to our activity rankings at least. And with the credits, we're actually able to buy submarine fuel and a lot of other items, FC buffs, stuff like that. So we need a constant flow of that. It's also, another big bonus of having a big active community is that we're always, it all feeds into itself. There's a big circle of progress there. So I wanted to give a statement on that. And we also don't want anybody to not be reassured or, feel down like, oh man, we dropped 4 points this week, 4 places. Why are we in 4th? Why are we in 5th? But Rick is always saying we're 1st. That's why, because of the boosters. So, we don't count the boosters or the mass poachers or the mass inviters. I don't know why people feel the need to have to do that just to be above everybody else. We have also, have FCs that are competitive, and folks that may or may not be friends with or fond of our community for whatever reason, and they have even gone to the point sometimes. Not saying the current ones have up there, but there has been some that have literally announced their rivalry in the rankings to us because it matters so much to them for whatever reason. So we're like, okay, cool. You guys do you. We're going to keep doing what we do, and have a legitimate activity. So we're very proud of that. And we like to announce that so that everybody knows it's a testament to our activity and not just, a boost or something that, looks like we're behind where we're at. So truly we are at the top, and it's amazing to see that continue, especially during, this time where we're waiting for a new patch and things would normally be dead in a lot of communities, and it's thriving here. So just like to explain that at our events or at our assemblies. Okay, we have got to get through some more topics because we've got 2 more phases to go through. So recently, I want to talk about the inactivity policies as well here. It's things that have changed. If you have seen or haven't seen the announcements, just real quick, the on vacation rank, which is for folks that need a little extra time because maybe they missed a month, or they want to they're taking a break for a month, maybe they're moving, maybe it's having a hard time paying for the game for a month or something like that. We provide an extra 30 days now. This was once 4 months. It's been shortened to 3 months for on vacation rank. The reason why we have more than one vacation rank and have a second called extended leave is for an additional month for serious cases. So when we have someone who's like, well, I'm going to be out for 4 months because I've got to go on a long trip, or they're in the hospital, or maybe a natural disaster happened and they need some months to recover, finances or something like that. This was 6 months prior. However, we're seeing a lot of extended leaves that had just become uncontactable even. And I would typically make it a priority for, mainly myself to reach out to them before they get to the end of that 4 months or 6 months that we had it at. And there were a lot that replied, oh, I'm going to be back, but I might not be back in time, so I'll just reapply when I get back, or I'll be back soon, or whatever their response was. And then there was a few that just were totally, not able to be contacted, whether they were on Discord or not, or just never replied. So we said, okay, we're going to have to chop down extended leave just a little bit. So we at least have a 4 month one. That's 1 month longer than on vacation. It still feels good to have 2, just kind of in case, because we don't, our normal activity policy is that members must remain logging in within 60 days. And that's still very, very generous for a lot of, compared to a lot of guilds. You're going to see a lot of guilds do, 1 week or 3. I've seen it 3 days, log in for 3 days. And, I'm like, that's stupid. That's stupid. Because what if someone just takes a weekend off or something and they're gone? Like, to me, that's foolish thing to have in a community. So we give 2 months, because what if somebody can't pay 1 month, but they can pay the next month, and they come back on their sub and they're back? Okay, cool. And don't forget, people can also reapply, and we do up to 3 times joins. Sometimes there's even more, exceptions. We've had someone join, 4 or 5 times before due to medical reasons or whatnot. So, just communicate. That's what we need. We need communication. And, these vacation roles exist, to assist people who just need a little extra time. And we don't want to have to remove everybody who just times out for, a reason that they can't help. But again, we also do need to address the growth in our community as well. So please keep in mind that we have changed that a little bit and dropped it down. Again, on vacation it's a 90-day kick. I don't know why I wrote this in my notes as 60. Yeah, 60 is the normal, 90 for on vacation, and 120 days or 4 months extended leave. And if that time lands at like the day before the first, or when a lot of people would normally get paid, we'll give it a couple extra days as well, just to keep in mind in case it's a reason, not being able to sub reason. Alts and new characters. So there was a couple questions regarding a recent announcement about the new character rule that was very new, very, very new. Our alt policy has been the same for quite a long time. We've just been reminding people that if you have an alt in the FC, everybody's allowed 2 characters. We prefer if you name one of them your main and one of them your alt to us. That way we know which one is the one that gets played a little bit less, because the alts need to be logged in on. Please do not bring an alt and never log in on it. If you have an alt, it doesn't matter where it's at in the MSQ. It can be a level 1. Just make sure you're using it and it's logged in within 30 days. Alts that we know are alts and they are over 30 days will get removed. And of course, for the new character rule, as I mentioned earlier, if a new character, whether it's, you know, an alt or not, if a new character joins and has not reached the level of having a GC and has not logged in for 30 days, they're not able to get the 60-day time that we normally give. They will be removed the same as alts at 30 days, because we have had several occasions where new characters join the FC and they might be someone's main, but they're very, very new and they don't come back. And I think right now we have 1 or 2 that have been like 20 something days since they, you know, since character creation, and, you know, and then just never come back. So, you know, it's just something, you know, it's very similar to the alt policy, but it's a little different because it might not be someone's alt. It might be a brand new character that have just never, you know. So if you haven't played enough as a new character, or and also a new member in Azure, and you're not even at the point of getting the GC, and you've been gone for 30 days, you know, that's kind of like, okay, well, you're not playing the game. You're just not playing the game at that point. You know, if you want to reapply because you're like, oh, that was a bad month for me, but I am going to play the game now, then just reapply. You know, you're not banned. It's just, you know, we've got to make room. So that's where we're at on that. And we hope that all of these activity and inactivity policies has kind of helped make some space. And we're seeing about, you know, 10 to 20 spaces kind of free quite often. You know, we do have protocol within Assist for what happens when we get, you know, so many applications that the application box caps. It does actually have a cap. We've seen it before. It's 10 applications. Applications that are in for about a week, if we cannot get a hold of somebody for a week, and we, of course, like I said, we got 40, 50 people who are able to handle applications. And if all of those people logging in regularly cannot find somebody within a week in the application box, then the application will get denied. Okay, so, boy, I actually have a lot of stuff. I have more this time than normal, so thank you for bearing with me. I want we'll do the first raffle here shortly. Really quick though, we're going to address the some of the plans for 7.5. So, as we all know, April 28th is the launch day for FF14 patch 7.5. There's a lot of stuff coming with that, and I mean a lot of stuff. If you've watched the live letter that happened the other day, or the one from, I think it was towards the end of last month, you'll know that we are getting another main scenario. It was announced yesterday that the main scenario for patch 7.5 will be twice as long as any patch main scenario, but it will be split into 2 parts. And there's a part coming over the summer and also in September. The first part will be on the 28th, and we are getting the Windurst Alliance raid, the new limited job, Beastmaster. I know there's a lot of folks excited to start catching monsters. The new dungeon, the new trial, the Unmaking, which is NOEX, the new Unreal, which is Shinryu's domain, Unreal. We have a new Crystalline Conflict stage. Hopefully we'll see that during our Super Azure Slayer Sunday events. A new Ultimate raid has been announced, and it is currently suspected to be Kefka Ultimate. Based on the content in the trailer. However, an official confirmation is coming next week during FanFest. There is the next Occult Crescent, North Horn. That is the second part of the Dawn Trail Relic series for the field op content. There is new weapon enhancement quests for the Phantom weapons. We're nearing the end of the relics, so if you haven't started a relic yet and you'd like to do one for Dawn Trail, you have plenty of time. We still got about, you know, rumored 6 to 7 months for the expansion, so it's plenty of time. A new custom delivery NPC is coming out. Auntie's Tacos. Tacos. It makes me hungry thinking about that. The next and final Dawn Trail Hildebrand chapter. New Allied Society capstone quests. So good time to start getting those Allied Societies finished up. There is new ocean fishing, a new cosmic exploration planet, updates to the Gold Saucer, many new mounts, minions, and emotes, additional duty support, an update to housing with lots of new spaces for items on the inside and the outside, and probably more. So how is Azure addressing some of this new content? Well, going forward, as we mentioned earlier with Coco's promotion, that NUO-EX, also known as the Unmaking, the official name of the trial, the Unmaking Extreme, will be also considered as EX7 for Dawntrail. That will be our new Monstrous Mondays learning party. So that's going to start, like Coco said, like General Coco said, on the May 4th. May 4th will be the first Monstrous Mondays featuring NUO Extreme. On Tuesdays, starting Tuesday, April 28th, the same day as the patch, we have day 1, week 1 clears per tradition of Windurst. However, this is also marks the return of Azure 24-Man Tuesdays. This time, Vana'diel Trilogy. So that means that all 3 Vana'diel raids will be done during this event. And this is the event that's going to have a return to the PF grouping that we do at the event time on the poster, as well as the bot notification. The grouping will start off in Party Finder with a password that's announced in FC chat and in the Infinitum Reserve Corps link shell and Alliance link shells. So we hope to see a good amount of people join. Maybe we'll have a backup group. This is only 24 people, and I think it's going to be very popular. Usually the 24-man raid events with Azure Infinitum have always been fantastic. You know, a lot of banter and fun, and seeing stuff for the first time, especially. Keep in mind that we would like to have some call-outs, especially when Windurst is new. We know that Allied raids are Alliance raids are generally easier than a lot of other content in other raids in the game. But for the first couple, first couple events, we want to make sure that we have, for at least Windurst, the newest one, that we have some space for callouts. So, keep in mind, banter will be welcome in between boss fights and things like that. And we do have loot rules during these events. That is need for upgrade, greed for glamour. So we don't want people taking things for glamour if somebody else actually needs it. So please be mindful of your roles. There will be some folks, in the party leadership that will be keeping an eye out on things, we just want everybody to, get what they need, because this gear is going to be good at first, especially if you haven't been doing Savages or you need gear for additional jobs, this is going to be good for that. So, we did notice that they showed a little bit of Whitegate, which is an area from Final Fantasy XI's 3rd expansion, Treasures of Adargon, as well as Windurst. I'm sure there's more surprises in the final one. So, if you want to, it would be fun to unlock it on that day and then come with the FC. And of course, if you can't make it that day and you want to do it the next week, that's fine too. The first run ever during 24-man Tuesdays of Vana'diel Trilogy, it will be partly a blind run, because we found a lot of people wanting both. Either they want blind or they want, call-outs. So the way we're going to handle that, to answer the questions that have come in, is we will do the fights blind for 1 or 2 attempts. And if we're struggling, we'll provide call-outs. So that way, we experience it blind, but also have the call-outs so that we can move on and, finish the event. So that's how we will do Windurst when we get there. It was difficult for us before when we tried to do an only blind group and an only, call-out group, and it was just splitting too much attendance up. So, we're going to keep it solid. We're going to have the Party Finder password go out in FC chat and the link shells I mentioned coming into the event. And then, of course, if we need a backup group, that's a single party. Say there's 38 people that come and we fit 24 into the main group, a backup party will be provided as well. Keep in mind, those who are in assist, we are going to need your volunteering to watch over parties B and C, as I will usually almost always have A, and of course, volunteers for the backup. For Scout Sergeants and up, this is an opportunity to help gain event host experience as well, if you're looking to get into event hosting or eventually rank up to Scout Captain, which is our folks that are assigned and cleared as event hosts. And this also presents opportunity for leaders as well in council to remain involved for those that are available during that time. And remember, not everybody's available at the same time every day. So that is something we're going to start on the 28th. Day 1, week 1 clears of Azure 24-man Tuesdays return. Vanadil Trilogy. Why a trilogy? We need all 3 coins. All 3 coins are required for the upgrade item to upgrade your 780 Bygone Brass gear to 790, which is currently what the Savage crowd is enjoying. A lot of us, are going to be able to enjoy that as well, too, who don't do Savage soon, except for the weapon. The weapon will still be locked for some time. But lots of good gear, lots of 790 gear. Raid gear as well. It's probably 780, I'm assuming, for the gear that drops, which is cool, unless it's maybe 770, 775. I'm not sure, but it'll be somewhere around there. I think it's 780. So we'll see. Remember, we are on the last tombstone, so this is mainly the augmentation phase of the content. So it's running coins for that. You can also cap your hunt nut currency, the nutsack currency. It's really what it's called, and you can get that capped going into the patch, and you can use that currency to actually buy the same upgrade items that you would get from collecting all 3 coins. Which means, with one of the coins being locked weekly for the new raid, Windurst, you can get all 3 coins and cap your nutsacks and come in with 2 augmentations and have 2 pieces of 790 on April 28th. So just a tip there for everybody. Moving on, Wondrous Wednesday nights and Treasure Thursdays, as well as Friday night treasure fights, should have updated rewards as they do in every patch. So keep in mind that there may be new glamours or maybe a new hairstyle or something cool that's, worth a lot that comes from those. Always fun. Currently on map nights, Treasure Thursdays and Friday Night Treasure Fights, we see people going after the Yan mounts, Yan minions, and Gimme Kitten minions, which are all worth a good chunk, especially the Yan mounts. There's always a new glamour or something special to get from those. Material, things like that. Mega Mountathon has been doing very well. We actually had our mount farm just before this, and we were able to get 3 lynxes. We're going to continue to do the same system with the polls that we do in Discord, and continue to try to, flesh out as many lynxes for people as we can. And Savage Saturdays, of course, whenever we do Pandemonium, is going to have a good week notification. But we'll continue to actually combine Eden and Omega in the same event instead of rotating. So if you want Eden Savage or Omega Savage mounts and you want to get them quick, unsynced with surefire clears, these are not RNG. They happen every time. Some of them are only 2-minute fights. Come along to Savage Saturdays, which is actually going to be grouping in about 45 minutes if we can get through the rest of the stuff we have. We're going to try to speed through some of these here. But that is tonight as well. So that's every first and third Saturday. So that being said, we've also got Super Azure Slayer Sunday every second and fourth Sunday. That's a lot of times you'll see our Infinitum champion, Vidario Superstario Sandermore, showing up and coaching PvP, spending some time with our PvPers. And, it's a good time to meet him as well as learn about PvP. I know that there is a lot of folks that get intimidated by the idea of PvP in the game. However, when we go in as a group for Frontline, sometimes there's call-outs and we're able to teach. Even if you just have a basic PvP rotation and you don't mind dying together, you're still going to walk out with Series EXP. There's that, quote-unquote Battle Pass-like Series EXP track that's in the PvP menu called Series Momstones. It's kind of hidden, but it's in the PvP menu. That takes you to a rewards track where you can get minions, framers kits, mounts, stuff like that. Every patch is a whole set of those. Those are actually coming to an end on April 28th. So before maintenance on April 22nd, please, if you're interested in getting the rest of the PvP series stuff, make sure that you complete that rewards track before then. Otherwise, that stuff will not be made available at Wolves Den for probably several years. So, which is the new thing that they do now. It's kind of nice that they do that, but they're still working on getting old stuff up, over time. That way it gives the PvP crowd some exclusivity for a little while before it becomes available to everybody. But it's still very much obtainable on there up until April 27th. So please remember, don't miss out if you're interested in that stuff. Okay, so once again, first Annuo Extreme Mon Learning Party, May 4th. Azure 24-Man Tuesdays, Vanadil Trilogy, April 28th, via Party Finder with password. Now, in some cases, when I meant to say this earlier, in some cases, if we don't happen to fill the PF for 24, which I'm pretty confident we're going to in the first, so many weeks or months of this. But, later on down the road, we also do open it up to regular Party Finder to help fill. So if there's any question of, oh man, this might take a while to fill, like, we usually keep it within our 15-minute group time. So no worries there. Okay, and one last thing, we're going to do our first raffle here in a second. Phase 2 will also be shorter than where we're at right now. I kind of bled into phase 2, so we might actually do 2 raffles in a row. We've got a lot for this assembly. Real quick, Azure Grand Duel Tournament 31. That is our next Grand Duel tournament. We are scheduling that for the end of May. So a little bit over 1 month from now, there is going to be a big first tournament following the 30th milestone and a prize pool. We'll begin collecting gil for the prize pool in the FC chest, and if you put in gil that's meant for the tournament prize pool, go ahead and just shoot me a DM or a tell saying hey, I've contributed 2 million or whatever to the prize pot, and I'll keep a note of that, and we can get the prize pot up. As the prize pot builds over the next 30 days or so roughly, that'll be a bigger and bigger and bigger incentive. And the prize pot is not for beating the champion, it is for winning the tournament, which is 1v1s. So sometimes we have 17 people enter, sometimes we have 8 people enter. It really depends, but come fight, even just under the glory under the Azure sky, for fun. We need bodies to make it a good sizable tournament. PvP is synced. It does not matter what your gear is, and you only have to be level 30 to do this and unlock it all. So even if you're a novice in PvP, sometimes we have an underdog once in a while, and the game has simplified PvP down to only a handful of buttons. There is some mastery in learning timing and what the classes do and stuff like that, but this is overall mainly a DPS tournament. Healers are allowed, actually, but there was a time where Scholar was wiping the floor with people, so you never know. But people can also come and watch because this is out in the open, out in the open world in Wolf's Den. So that's Azure Grand Duel Tournament 31. Vidario will be defending his title against the tournament victor at that event. So look forward to that at the end of next month. The official date has yet to be confirmed because I need to talk to Vidario and make sure that what date it falls on, that everything else and the other schedules involved are all line up and everything is good there. So that is the end of next month. So we're going to start building the prize pot now, and that will be for the tournament victor. And the tournament victor gets the chance to face the champion. Champions not only get that special rank I mentioned earlier, which is a reflection of their overall rank. So if you are a scout and you become a champion scout, you're still a scout, but you have the champion tag in the roster with the same permissions as a scout and are still listed as a scout on, or if you're a member, same thing. And then our champions also have a special page at azureinfinitum.com, the community site. If you go to the community tab and you go down to champions, you can see the whole entire list of years going back to 2016. There's a hall of champions on there describing every champ and how long they reigned and what kind of matches they had and things like that. So that's a very fun page to read sometimes. I actually need to add a little bit to Vidario's recent title defense. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit next after our raffle about some of the community needs. Some other good things to know about accessing our sites, and of course the wings of Azure as well. So far we've covered a lot of events and activity policy changes, our council induction and general Skyguard induction ceremony, which was very special today. And of course, talked about the status of our community in full and the activity that's soaring through the roof. Very good stuff. So we will continue with the next chunk here after 2 raffles. Let's do 2 raffles. Thank you for bearing with me, guys. As you can see, we're very thorough. We like to make sure that, we cover a lot of bases here. And of course, I see the hands here that are raised. We're going to have Q&A in a moment for those that want to, enter the stage channel as well. All right, so if you want to enter our raffle, make sure that you are currently subscribed to FF14 and you are able to accept in-game prizes. Even if you are not with us right now and you're listening via the stage channel, or maybe you're at work, or maybe you're busy doing something else in-game while listening, if you're on Twitch, whatever, you can put in a 3-digit number in the stage channel chat or the Twitch chat, or if you're in-game here present, you can slash random. Just slash random in the box. Go for it. I will random in a moment, and the number closest to my roll will get the first of the 2 raffle prizes that we have for right now. We will be doing a 3rd one to finish off the assembly towards the end. So we got about 30 more minutes roughly that we're going to try to fit the rest of our announcements in and have Q&A. So all right, we got numbers rolling in across the board here. Seeing them in several of our chats. Nice, I just seen Ronan's message on Twitch. I have you guys on a 98-inch Sony TV at my work. Got to represent Azure. That's awesome, man. Okay, we're going to give it a little bit longer for the raffle entries. If you haven't slashed random in game or put a 3-digit number in any of our Twitch chat or stage channel VC chat, feel free. In a moment, I will be slash randoming and giving them. Wow, I see a 2. I see a 2 in there. Please enter or roll only once. No do-overs. Unless you've tied with somebody. If you have the exact same number as somebody else, we'll do a sudden death. Okay, let's see here. I'm going to expand my log here so you can all see it. Okay. Alrighty, and I'm going to announce time on the raffle. So my number is 38888. Very good number. One of my favorites. All right, let's see. What is closest to 888? 888 and 777 are my favorite numbers. Dorian is 896. That's very close. Okay. 896. Dorian Haumont. Double checking our chats here. Sorry, it's not slash random in the Twitch chat. It's Twitch chat if you're on Twitch or Stage VC. You just put in 3 numbers that of your choice. Just the random is only for in-game because it gives a random roll. Just saying for those on Twitch. Okay, so closest to 888. I don't see any in the chats. It is looking a lot like... Yep, it is looking a lot like Dorian. I just like to triple check. Okay. We had a couple that got close to 800. But yes, it looks like Dorian Haumont. Congratulations. And trade me for a prize. Alrighty. I'm going to go ahead and award you with a Figmental Weapon Coffer. These are highly sought after, worth a couple mil. They are great for using on the job that you want to get one of... you know, what's referred to as the Figmental or joke weapons. Some of them are very clever. Let's see. No one got closer to 835. No, we had an 896, which is very close to 888. Darn. Oh, in second, yeah, that would have been the closest one. So this is raffle 2. Please go ahead and re-roll or post another 3-digit number in the chats. In a moment, I will roll, and we'll get the second prize out, and then move on to our last chunk of announcements here, followed by our last raffle and Q&A. We're closing in on there's about 50 in the audience right now on all platforms. Expand the log again here. So about 1 minute, giving everybody a chance to write a 3-digit number in chat, /random in game if you're with us in FF14, or post in stage channel, 3-digit number. These general squats for luck. Okay. All right, I'm going to go ahead and call time. And my number is 269. 269, who is closest to 269? I see a couple. Let's see here, checking the chats. Okay, 269, 300, 307. There's a 292 in stage channel. Let's see. Let me open up the log again. I keep closing it. Okay. Let's see. So 269, 269. Let's see. Okay. Double checking, triple checking. Okay. There is a 292 from Aslan in stage chat. Twitch has a 500. That's a little bit too far away. So let's see, 269 and 292 are very close. They're closer than the 300 ones. Oh, that was previous? Wait, hold on. 6:26 p.m. Oh, yes, okay. Okay, thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. That's why I like to triple check. Okay, so Astaria looks like... Okay. Okay, thank you. Yeah. Okay. Believe that is closest, yeah. All right. Congratulations, Astaria. Just come trade me. All right, and Astaria wins. Where did I put it here? It's still in here somewhere, isn't it? Where did it go? No. Oh, that's right. Okay. Raffle prize number 2 was a set of Chocobo pajamas. Along with a bread emote. Enjoy. They're actually very nice. They're high quality too. Thank you to those who donated our first 2 raffle prizes. All right, and I've got some more announcements to get through here. We're going to talk about some of our wings and also community needs in general. Just a couple more things. Just a couple. It's like 10 things now. Just kidding. Let me turn down in-game music just a little bit. There we go. All right, my friends, for this phase of the assembly, do want to 60, 67 more things. That was funny. Okay. Yes, so overall community needs first. So we are looking for a number of things across the whole community, including our sites and Discord. We are looking for moderators, which come in the form of scouts and up. We're also looking for folks that like contributing content. If you like to post memes about certain games, if you don't mind helping copy and paste news, things like that. We're looking for editors for the site as well as some of our social media pages as well. Could always use more help with that. This is volunteer, strictly volunteer, but it does help us continue to push content. If you are into writing at all, or you like sharing news, content, updates from games, things like that on a more like blog-like format, that is also what we need as well for our news site, azurenet.com. We cover a lot of stuff from Japanese pop culture to game releases, TV shows, reviews, all kinds of stuff like that. Yeah, no, not that one, Yami. No, we're good on that. He mentioned a certain website. I won't name it on here. But yes, we have needs across our sites and our socials and things like that as well. Also, we do have specific in-game needs. Not a lot in 14 as far as the, of course we always need folks ranking up and stuff like that. But besides that, we are also always in need of grade 3 shroud soil that can be donated to the FC chest, tab 4 or 5 anytime. Tab 5 is technically the council tab. Tab 4 is technically the donations or prizes, that kind of thing. So grade 4 shroud soil, we no longer need Thanalan soil or any Lenotian soil. We just need grade 3 shroud soil. It increases the yield of items for stuff that we are growing for resource projects for the FC. That goes out to our depots, and depots is our extensions that are there for multiple reasons. Using additional resources for helping reserve corps members, as well as gathering up, stuff for extra gardens and submarines and things like that as well. So grade 3 shroud soil definitely helps. We also are looking for pathfinders and wing commanders. Now, just to be clear, pathfinders are like junior wing commanders. Wing commanders are the folks that are scout captain and above, who help spearhead these wings that we have, these guilds. So in a sense, while I own and oversee all of the wings commanders act like the more current, everyday, day-to-day operational guild masters in a sense. Though the wing commanders report to myself and the council on the statuses of these wings and where they're going. This is, basically a huge aid to the council and I, as I cannot be everywhere at once, despite attempting to. I might be in 3 or 4 games at one time, but I can't be in all, 11 or 12 of them at one time. And also, of course, we need wing commanders, more than one even per some wings, to help push these things forward. And, those, if you're looking to become a guildmaster-like role within Azure, wing commander is the role for you. If you are not a scout captain or higher, and you want to get into becoming a scout and at least have access to our support channels and become a scout, and you want to help spearhead a game, we need pathfinders. So pathfinders, very, very helpful, a very good chance to rank up to wing commander and get involved in future leadership. Pathfinders, say you are let's just pick a game, World of Warcraft. So you're very passionate about World of Warcraft. You played it for years. You know a lot about it. And you're like, hey, I know how to help Azure succeed and get further. I want to help recruit. I want to help lead people. I want to help design events. This is the role for you. We need more Pathfinders to come in and, just help us carry things along. Help us with some of the heavy lifting. It doesn't have to be everything at once. It can be, not so stressful if, we take things slow, especially. And then, of course, that can lead to future captain and wing commander ranks, which we very much need. And it is another goal of ours to eventually get a handful of wing commanders per our Azure wings and also have them involved, more than one game if possible, while also being in council. Because in the future, we'll have representatives from different wings showing up at council meetings, and we will be able to begin the Azure Senate proceedings that are being designed now. So once we get to that point, all of our worlds are connected and we have leaders across all of our games, we will begin moving further with even more events and get stuff going on with more recruitment and more events across these games. So online, if you want to, you can always make an account at azureinfinitum.com, and you can actually list your characters if you wish to. Your characters can get added to the online rosters through Guild Tags system that we use for hosting Azure Infinitum. You can actually add other friends in Azure on azureinfinitum.com. There's even a wall for posts. It's very social media-like. You can follow each other. You get Azure achievements on that site and everything. It's actually very cool. We've got a good, 100 or 2 people on there, but, to get more folks on there and, listing their characters, if you want to host, well, this is my character in WoW, and this is my character in 14, and this is my character in Destiny, you can do that through Guild Tags database system that they're designing. It's very, very, very nice to be able to list all your characters. That way people know what games you play as well. There's no pressure to do this at all. You could literally never join and be fine, but this is a nice added optional feature for those in our community. If we ever do any site-specific contests or things like that, you'll also have a account through Guild Tag, but just remember that once you join Guild Tag, you also have to join the Azure site. There's been many times people have been confused thinking that they've already joined, but they're not listed in our database because they never joined the Azure site. They just registered for Guild Tag. And I know that can be confusing, and so does the Guild Tag developers. I've been in their Discord for quite a while, and I, am able to talk with them and make suggestions and things. They are a really nice service that does things that I have not seen, stuff like Engine or Shifter or other guild-based websites that are made for hosting guilds. I've not seen some of these other ones do what Guild Tag is doing. I think Guild Tag is actually very underrated. I think more guilds out there should know about it. Being able to sign in with your Discord is really cool. Connecting everybody in every games, things like all the games and stuff like that through these, Azure profiles that you can build on there. I just don't see that level of detail in a lot of them. You can connect things like your social media accounts, your Twitch. If you connect your Twitch, it'll come up on the Azure homepage when you go live. That's a feature. Actually, we're bringing it back because I took it off. It was glitching, but I'm bringing that back as well. So there's stuff like that too. Don't forget, you can also connect your Twitch streams to post in our streamers channel on Discord as well, which will light up and post new streams from our members. I'd like to continue to create a space where people can continue to share their content as well, and kind of continue to have these like features where if you've got streams or you playing other games, it will show up, on our site or something like that. Whatever services we can provide going forward. If you have any ideas, we're always open to hear that as well. But for now, those are some of the features on the site. I want to address one glitch that happened recently that was partly resolved. There is a chance that if you join our website on one name and then you link your Discord to it and then sign in with Discord afterwards. So say you join with username and password, email and password, and then you link your Discord after that. Sometimes when you go to log back in, it acts like you don't have an account. There's something to do with Guild Tag's database where it saves the initial name, and then when you log in with a Discord account, it thinks that it's a different account than the one you logged in with, and will tell you you have no profile. It will still allow you to access all the features on the site, except for the member profile stuff. So I notified them of that when we had 2 people encounter that last week, and they're kind of working on that with a fix for now. But what we figured out is that if you actually log out and sign back in with email and password, whether you have Discord linked or not, it'll work after that. You just have to do that once. So if you encounter the error where it says you have no profile, make sure you log out and log back in with email and password, regardless of what you've connected. It'll work after that. It's a weird thing that where the system kind of just confirms you after you log in traditionally with username and password or email and password. So that's just something that we've discovered, and we don't know why it's doing that. Neither does Guild Tag. It's actually part of their system. It's not an Azure problem. So, but we did find a temporary fix for now. So I will make an announcement on that as well, just in case anybody else is having that issue. It came up in general chat, I think, not long ago, but it should be a proper announcement. So we'll handle that when we get there. Very soon, at least with the temporary fix. So just in case anybody else has experienced that, that's how you fix it. And then you can access your normal profile. And this is for mobile and desktop versions of the website. We also had an issue recently where the site was not displaying the top news correctly. It was displaying correctly, except for it wasn't allowing you to scroll past it without a weird scroll bar showing up. And we fixed that too. It had something to do with the responsive coding not fitting the mobile version. This was only a glitch on the mobile version. But that's fixed now as well. So just a couple updates on that. And of course, the individual pages that we have for each wing on Facebook, we have a global Azure page, an FC page, as well as a page for every wing on Facebook. There are a couple pages for decommissioned wings, such as PSO2, that's Phantasy Star Online 2, as well as Throne of Liberty. Those have ceased to produce content, so those will just kind of be floating in the ether in case, for whatever reason, we return. I don't think that's going to happen, but those are there. But the other ones are all functional, including our new Warframe page and more. Those will post news, updates, community content, and stuff that flows from the initial place that we post everything at, which is one, our website, azurenet.com, and two, our X account. So everything brand new will flow from our X account out to the other social medias. So we do have an Azure Blue Sky, we have an Azure Pinterest, we have an Azure Instagram, a Threads account. We also have the Tumblr, Azure on Tumblr, as well as all the Facebook and other stuff I mentioned, YouTube, as well as YouTube news posts that are posted for Azure as well, including daily event videos, reels, and things like that are coming back soon. I've actually stored up a huge file of stuff since I've been busy. I'm going to have some time to work on those and be posting those soon as well. And like Aaron, Lieutenant Wells said here in chat, he'll be streaming the run of the QV Breaker Station in Star Citizen Wing Discord channel tomorrow night at around 7 p.m. Eastern, if anybody wants to watch that live. That is a very special mission in Star Citizen that's very new. Star Citizen is a pretty intense space sim that's very fun. There's a lot of misconceptions about what it costs to get started in the game. It's not as bad as a lot of people think. There's a lot more you can do in the game than a lot of people know about. And even though it's an alpha, it's become tremendously more stable in recent times, especially after the very long awaited engineering update. And with all the crafting stuff coming out and other stuff they've been doing for it, it's the Azure Legion that we have there is enjoying weekly events, and we want to do another run of that QV station run. There's a lot of, especially in the last year. That's right. There is quite a bit of good things with Star Citizen. That was something I was actually going to mention soon. I didn't know Aaron was going to stream it. That's cool. Maybe we can get some clips or some things like that too to help advertise the Legion. That is the name of our guild over there. So Star Citizen does start with buying a ship. And as some people know, there are very expensive ships and there's non-expensive ships. There's also starter packs that cost the same amount as a regular game. When you get those, you get a number of resources and credits and things like that you can have. You can also build up in-game credits and buy ships in-game too, which a lot of people don't realize. Some of the real expensive stuff, ships going up to $1,000 roughly, are usually made for entire clans to either pool money, unless you have somebody that's just, willing to spend that much. So you as a singular person, though, can't really operate something that big like a capital ship on your own. So they are kind of meant to have a crew to go along with. So keep in mind, a lot of singular ships are a lot less expensive and a lot of fun once you get into it, especially if you do decide to subscribe. You don't have to, but if you do also get ships you can try out every month. So they usually give you something that you can do hauling missions with, which is fun. You can literally play this game with no combat ever. So if you're like, I don't really like FPS style stuff, you can totally just be, a citizen in the universe and decide, what kind of person you're going to be in that game. Are you going to be a salvager, a miner? If you just want to do hauling stuff, and grab cargo from different stations, if you want to get into the deep, gunplay and become a mercenary or bounty hunter, you got that option too. So it's a really, really cool game. And there's a lot of stuff that's very cutting edge that I have not seen in a lot of other things. And of course, it's had a history of long development. It's been, a lot of people talking about, different things that I don't think personally that they understand about the game, but once you actually give it a shot, it's worth checking out. If you have people to play with, that's another thing too, because just like all of our games, it's one thing when you're alone, it's another thing when you have people to play with. It makes a huge difference. So, we want everybody to know that if you ever have interest in Star Citizen and you'd like to check out that game and maybe, you want to join the Legion and have very cool and very down-to-earth, patient players who are happy to teach you, including myself, for what I know of it. We have Wing Commander Lieutenant Aaron Wells here. We also have 2 scout captains and a variety of members and scouts who play the game, as well as myself. And a lot of people, we're just happy to see anybody new come into the game, you can play it with a mouse. There is a way to play with a controller, and also Flight Sim is very fun as well. So, and like I said, if you're not confident about your flying skills or FPS skills, you can always, hop aboard one of the ships. As a clan, we actually can pool our ships together. You can borrow ships from your friends, and we've got people who have big capital ships, and they'll literally be happier than anything to let you, try it out or come along or ride along. Tactical strike groups come out next month as well as Star Citizen's version of raids. So we need members. Thank you, Aaron. Yes, we need members, and there will be a spotlight soon on the Azure Legion. I meant to post this before the free fly event ended or is ending soon. Aaron, do you know if we're in that phase still? Do we still have the free fly thing going on? I know it's ending really soon if it hasn't already. Yes. Oh, a week. Okay. So yeah. You can also try it out for free as well. And of course, like I said, you don't have to pay the sub either. Once you have the game, you have it, and you have the game once you buy your first ship. So you do have to go to, the website and do that. Thank you for bearing with me. I'm glad I had a segment to talk about that. I did want to give our Legion a spotlight. It's funny because it's a smaller wing of Azure, but it is actually, having an event every week and really needing more people. And the more people we have, the better. With the engineering update, I mean, you could be someone that's like, oh, well, when the ship catches on fire, I'm going to grab the extinguisher and help put out fires and, watch the engineering board and stuff. I mean, there's just so much to do. It's very cool. So this game has evolved tremendously even in the last 2 years since I discovered it. So just a little spotlight on our Azure Legion there. Thank you again, Aaron, for the information. And the organization, that's what they're called. That's the Guilds of Star Citizen. The org is Azure Legion. There's one other group called Azure Legion, but they're not Azure Infinitum Azure Legion. We're the Azure Infinitum Legion. So you just look up Azure Legion. You can also go to the website, go to Wings, and go down to Star Citizen, and there's a link right to our organization. And you have to apply online. You can't apply in-game. They actually don't have in-game guild features much. It will show you when members of, that you're friends with are online and stuff. Yes, member access code is 1102. That's our founding date. If you follow the Join Us page on the navigation bar on the far right, it will give you everything you need to join the site. All you have to do is make a guild tag account, then come back to the homepage, click Join Site up in the corner, and enter member code 1102. If you don't enter 1102, it sends an access request that I can still accept manually. Awesome. Okay. Yeah, Omnipus was asking, so there you go. I'm glad you asked. That gave me a chance to explain. Okay, so yes, remember you can find all of our wing pages on AzureInfinitum.com. You can go down the wing category and look at each one. Some of them have specific websites that host their guild data, like WoW, the WoW wing. You can look at that. There's almost 40 of us over there. There's the Star Citizen organization I just mentioned. You can go look at the Destiny clan, which is nearly capped. It's like 98 or 90, 99 people. You can look at them all there. The wing pages are great because they also have a feed of our news as well. So there is a good feed there. And let me see here. I just got a notification for something really cool. That kind of caught my attention for a second. Okay. Let's see here. All right. So, like I said, as for needs in the community, we want to know when someone has interest in any of the assist ranks, the scout ranks as well, starting out as scout. Remember that scout is not a leadership rank. It is a role that is what you make of it. You are basically a member that continues to, watch over chat, let us know if something happened or if there's something needed. Scouts are eyes and ears of the council, and there's some folks that go all out, and there's some folks that just chill. Some that we've had for 5, 6, 7 years that they're cool and they just keep an eye on some of the channels. They let us know things that are important. And other than that, they're casual. And then there's people who really like to rank up and want to get more and more involved. So it is really what you make of it, as long as you're an active player. Scout sergeants are scouts that have been really active, like tremendously, have either been involved in a lot of recruiting and or attending events regularly and supporting. So when we have scouts that are just consistent and they're seen doing these things, they get automatically brought up to scout sergeant, which allows them to request training if they want to learn event hosting protocol and help us with grouping and things like that. So that is how that system works. And we will reach out to people here and there about interest and just ask if they might be interested or not. Otherwise, if you come to us and let us know, that makes it even faster. So that makes it happen even quicker. Real quick here. Let me see. Okay, so that being said, the things we need the most right now are not just resources, but also people. So, and we need people in these positions and in, we need to know about it if you're interested. If you get into something with us and you're like, well, I want to try being a Pathfinder or a scout or something like that, and eventually you find, oh, this isn't really for me, it's causing me more stress, or it's too much work, or maybe it's more than what I thought it was, or maybe I just, I'm not as passionate about when it happened or whatever, that's, just let us know. There's no hard feelings. We don't want people to be in positions that's causing any stress or extra, anything like that. So this is really like something that you can try and see if you like it. If not, then there's no hard feelings at all. Never any hard feelings. It's more important to us to have folks, on stuff that they're passionate about and not pushing when, things are becoming more stressful. Obviously, if you come up to wing commander or you're in a council rank, there could be things that we deal with sometimes that, might be minorly stressful, or, when it comes to member behavior or some, stuff like that we might deal with from time to time. But other than that, it's a lot of different positions that we have to offer. So, as far as the current statuses of our wings, So Destiny 2 Azure Wardens are currently enjoying Iron Banner, which is a week-long event with a few more days left. Both Friday Friday's event was pretty wild. Sunday, that's coming up tomorrow, that event will also continue to focus on Iron Banner to get the last bits of event reward track items obtained for those coming along. Try to get as far as you can. It's very fun to play with the clan. You can pick up the clan bounty for the Crucible stuff, and doing that, will also get you the rewards, the Crucible engrams that we have. There's big group rewards that come up at the clan vendor. You want to make sure you check that. Over in the D2 chat, we have actually posted some of the best stuff you can pick up from Xur. We usually do that every week as well. That's the special NPC that shows up at the tower now. You don't have to track him down in the world anymore. And so, yeah, Iron Banner over in Destiny 2. Over in Elder Scrolls Online, Season 0 has begun. This is a special new thing they're trying, where it's almost like a reboot of the game, but instead it's taking the current content and starting everybody at the beginning of a season-like structure instead of yearly expansions. However, there's enough content to equal out an expansion with future new zones coming and a lot of stuff, to do with the new season rewards. Old daily login bonuses are gone. There's a whole new system of reward track stuff. They're trying to really kind of rethink the way they advertise content and come out with new stuff. And Season 0, the way that's done will actually affect future seasons. So they said depending on how it goes, Season 1 and Season 2 when they begin, will kind of reflect the results that they had during Season 0. So if you are interested in Elder Scrolls Online, or you'd like to join one of the 2 Azure guilds we have there, that is PlayStation and PC, all you got to do is let us know, post your account, the character name or the ESO account name. I believe both of them can be recruited, and invites can be sent out and while you're offline, so you can come back on when you are online in case we're not online at the same time as you to send out invites. So post your name in the ESO chat here in our Discord, and we'll be able to send you an invite. And Season 0 is, again, another great time to get involved if you've been thinking about it, because it's almost like a reset. So, exciting. Over in Star Wars: The Old Republic, we see that there is a new expansion on the horizon. This game is alive and well and continues to install modernization efforts. The graphics updates have been really cool. There's many places and locations in the game that have been redone, edited, and upgraded to a little bit more modern graphics. There's a lot of systems and things coming out as well, especially over the last 2 years since Broadsword picked it up from EA. A lot of EA devs and BioWare folks actually went with them over to Broadsword to continue working on it because there's so much passion in SWTOR. The community is alive and well. When you go into the main stations, there's tons of people everywhere. Our guild currently just recently did a very great purge of inactive members. One of the things about SWTOR is that it very much advertises that you should most likely have alts, because if you level these, it promotes having alts, because if you level them, you can complete not only their storylines for different classes, but then you can cross-class abilities. So every class can learn Jedi and Sith moves. You can also get stuff from your legacy characters. The legacy just shares all your character stuff, legacy storage, legacy this and that. Very, very, very good system between your alts, as well as the stuff that you can complete to be able to cross-class stuff and kind of create a very unique character. But because alts are promoted so much over there, the family tree thing is the legacy system that they have. But because alts are promoted so much there, it actually makes it to where sometimes there's somebody on an alt that we might recruit, and they're only leveling that alt just to get the stuff for their main, and then what happens? They end up never logging in because they go back to their main forever. So sometimes we have to purge a little more often, because then we have alts that never come back. And not just of our members, but of just random new members that join, not of current members. So activity goes up and down over there all the time, back and forth. So we went from 100 down to 50, down to 20, we went back up to 75, then back down to 50, and now we've got it down recently. But recruitment's also super easy, because all these people's alts and new characters and folks that love Star Wars that are trying the game and all this stuff, they all need a guild. So over in SWTOR, unlike Final Fantasy, where a lot of people do not want a random invite, and we definitely prefer to talk to people before just bringing new faces in. Over in SOTOR, you send a random invite and they're like, oh, thank you. I really needed this. And so it's like, it's a little bit easier to recruit for. But we are on Starforge, so I don't know if that makes any difference for some that may or may not want to be on a different server here and there. Like all things Azure, we do take things into a casual to mid-core level. Like I said, no major expectations other than our general rules policy. So, come over, make a Jedi or a Sith or Republic or Imperial, whatever you want to make. You can make a smuggler, you can have an alien, whatever you want. You add it to the guild. Right now, guild conquest points add up and allow us to unlock command encryptions, which we need a little bit more of to get the last few rooms on our flagship that's currently orbiting. I forgot where we're at right now. The current planet we're invading, there's invasion bonuses set right now. Month-long buffs are up. There's a lot of resources that our members have contributed over there, not only to the chest, but also to, the stuff we use to do the buffs and the credits and things like that. We'd still need some more command encryptions for the last few rooms. But we also had our big Alderaan Guild Hall stronghold built not too long ago. No worries about that blowing up. That's 3,000 years or something like that before the Death Star. So Alderaan is safe. It is safe for now. But it's a very cool, huge stronghold that's, kind of fits the Azure aesthetic more than a lot of the other strongholds that we noticed were in the game. So we've got the stronghold set up and the flagship, and we're, working to build that up. And yeah, it's there. It's available. So, if you are interested in that, that does exist. Now, we do not have an Imperial side yet. We wanted to focus on the Republic side of Azure, since that does fit us a little bit more. I mean, I do like Imperial stuff quite a bit, but that's what we started first, and we get a lot of questions about whether we'll have an Imp side or not. Again, we need Pathfinders and Wing Commanders. So, if you're passionate about that game and you're like, yeah, I want to be a driving force in making this happen for Azure, we're a DM away. Just say the word. We'll work with you. We'll figure it out. Obviously, like I said, this is not a position. Wing Commanders and Pathfinders is not a position to give someone full reign over everything that happens in the guild, or to change its identity or make it a hardcore raiding group or anything like that. This is a key to basically helping you not only come up in rank, but also help us manage the day-to-day operations of what it's meant to be. And, we don't try to run our different guilds exactly like 14. We try to run them like Azure. So that comes with some very universal values and ways of running things. Of course, some game might have content that's a little different in the way you have to group for and stuff like that. But not a single one of any of our wings, are meant to be this super hardcore elitist type environment. We just want to make that clear that, it's meant to remain welcoming and just fun. So over in World of Warcraft, we've seen a number of people come over and join, and some of those members have expressed like, oh man, I like being here in a place where people aren't only talking about mythic raiding. I want to be able to enjoy the game, fly around, have a night where we all collect furnishings for the new housing stuff, level up our houses. We have an Azure neighborhood over there. It's called Skyhold. And everybody can get a house for only 1,000 gold in the game. It's very cool. Housing in WoW is pretty popular, and it's going really well. It came out about a month and a half ago, or about 2 months ago. So with the release of Midnight. And of course, we've got, the same activity policies over there like we do across the board. And there's a lot of folks that, miss it. The nostalgia is strong. There's a lot of folks that don't ever want to go back, and that's totally fine too. But, it's a casual space to just enjoy the game. I treat it personally kind of like a Saturday morning cartoon, just hop in over there and, get to know the game more, and some of the jokes and antics and the comedy, cracks me up sometimes. There is, monthly freebies that they give out over at the trading posts and stuff like that. A lot of fun. So that is available as well. The goal for that is to continue recruiting. We have a newly signed wing commander, Ceriz. Lieutenant Ceriz is our WoW World of Warcraft wing commander, who's working directly with me to begin, much more targeted recruitment, recruitment shouts that we did, set up with macros and stuff like that over there. And, I don't want anybody that's over there to see little activity because there's not, it's not like RFC, but I want them to see kind of, and know that there's some, there's some planning in the works for getting that to be, a little bit more, off the road, or, get it off the ground a little bit more. So, yeah, it is there. It is available and it is there. In order to send invites, it's just similar to ESO. We do need people to post in the WoW chat and let us know their name. Same thing with Warframe, because not everything, has application boards that make it easy to, sign up for like that. So, while we're finishing up here, just a reminder that, there is a grouping for Savage Saturdays taking place outside the FC Hall, running Omega and Eden Savage Clears, I mentioned earlier. We're just going to finish up a couple more items here about the wings. Wanted to mention Warframe event time has been updated. I believe that was it Wednesday? I think it was Wednesday. We updated it to where we were trying to go for a prime time and a later prime time type, setup. And one of them is changed now to, what is it, 5? Hold on, I just changed it. I'm sorry. I think it was 6. Yeah, 6. So that is 6 p.m. on Wednesdays, if I remember correctly. 6 or 5 p.m. on Wednesdays. And then we have the other one that's on Monday. So these are 2 brand new events for our brand new Warframe clan. We just started this thing. It's kicked off really fast. It's like 20 people right out the gate, and more with the alliance that we have there. So, for those that, may not have been back in Warframe for a while or haven't played, there is a way to connect. If you have an alliance and you're like, I really don't want to leave this alliance. I helped build it up, but I really want to play with Azure. If you're able to, you can actually ally your alliance with the Infinitum alliance that's in Warframe. If you don't want to do that, and you also don't want to join the clan, you can still come to events. Just, pick up the Warframe role over in Role Select and, come along, join us in Warframe VC. As many may have noticed, we've had an update in our Discord server where all the wings and the games that we play have their own unique sections in VCs. The only reason we didn't do this prior is because not all of them, had people that were wanting to pop into VC very often, or they were smaller, or it made more sense, excuse me, or it made more sense to keep them in one collapsible category. But nowadays on Discord, you can not only collapse the categories that you don't want to see, you can also go to the, what it's called, browse channels at the top of the list. I think this is only available on PC because I don't remember seeing this on mobile, but you can go to browse channels and you can actually uncheck the channels that you don't want to see, and you can check the channels that you might not know you're missing out on. So that's something you might want to check out, guys. There's like I said, the browse channels is right under the event, right towards the top of our Discord sidebar under the banner. There's channels you may not know exist, and there's channels that, you might say, oh, well, I don't play this game and I never plan on playing, WoW or Star Citizen or Guild Wars or anything like that. And you just want to uncheck those to make your Discord list smaller. It's totally up to you. You can customize our Discord channel list that you can see. So that's something I wanted to mention because there are some folks that don't mind having a lot of channels on the left side, and there are some folks who really hate scrolling through channels. So this is a way that you can have the choice of what you want to see in Azure Discord. You can customize it how you want to. And of course, if you don't want to remove channels, but you just don't want to see those sections until something pops up, you can also collapse them by clicking the channel category dropdown. And it works like a drop-down menu. So very, very helpful there. That was a big update that we did recently, and we did kind of comb through the permissions on everything, but sometimes every once in a while, someone will say, oh, I'm not able to, stream in this one VC or something. I'm like, oh man, okay, let me go fix that. But we need you guys to tell us because I've been over it 100 times, and I still, once in a while, there's something that needs to be fixed. So just let us know. I think everything's okay at the moment, but we'll see. Other than that, I believe we've reached the end of the announcements. So we're going to do a Q&A here after a raffle. And one more raffle. I'm going to hop over and we're going to do our last raffle. So I know I've been talking really fast, and that was a lot of information to get through, but this is a mega assembly where we've had, promotion ceremonies and a lot of new recruits' names and a lot of stuff going on with the patch and everything. Also, oh, shoot. You know what? One more thing. I'm sorry, guys. FanFest. FanFest for FF14. Don't forget, that is next week. So, April 24th and 25th, we have a watch party. And we've announced this in Discord, but for those that may not know or might need a reminder, the watch party is going to run during the same times as the streams in the official stream for FF14 FanFest. So FanFest starts with the keynote from Yoshi P. That's going to have the reveal of the expansion name for 14, the 8.0 expansion, and a lot of stuff upcoming. And of course, throughout all the panels and cosplay stuff, there's going to be, yes, we can watch it and talk over them. Yes. I mean, typically during the keynote, a lot of people will either zone out or comment on the big stuff. We'll all scream and act like giddy school children when the expansion name drops and everything, and then everything will get quieter. But don't forget that there is a raffle channel in the FanFest section on Discord, and there's going to be raffles throughout all of the stream throughout both days. It's 2 days. So those who have bought tickets for the concert streams, you can remain in there and watch the concerts together too. Won't be raffles during the concert portions, but throughout everything else there will be. So just wanted to give that a quick shout out. So that's one last big thing that is happening this month as well, besides the patch stuff and everything else. Let's go ahead and have our last raffle. Please /random if you'd like to enter in game. 3-digit number in the stage VC chat or the Twitch chat. And go ahead and put the podium back out here. Now, don't forget that a lot of what I've talked about, the announcements, if it's brand new stuff, those announcements will come out soon. If it is stuff that's upcoming, there's that. There is also going to be stuff that, I've talked about here that was also written up in news posts as well as recent announcements, and you can always check that anytime at the website or here in Discord at the announcements channel. Very important channel. So the latest stuff comes out for Azure. So we've got a lot of entries here still. Let me go ahead and make this full screen. Don't forget Savage Saturdays grouping now outside at the FC lawn. We're going to give grouping a little bit extra time, but a few extra minutes, because there are folks that may want to attend that also want to do the raffle. Thank you, Captain Aslan Lycoria, for overseeing that while we're finishing the assembly here. Okay, a few more seconds. I'm going to call time. This is the last raffle of the assembly. If you want to enter a 3-digit number on Twitch, or if you would like to enter a 3-digit number in the stage chat, or /random in game. Following the raffle, those that have raised hands during the meeting, council members first. If you have anything that you would like to bring up for Azure before we move on to full Q&A, you're welcome to. There is also Q&A, like I said, where you can ask anything that we have talked about here at the assembly today. If you have any proposals, ideas, comments, or suggestions, we want to hear them as well. Whether it's in chat, it will be read off in chat by me, or you can raise hand in VC, stage VC, and come up to the stage and ask via voice as well. So then just a moment here, and that will be our last portion of the assembly today. All right, time. Final raffle is ended, and my number, I'm going to have Reika roll here. 843. 843, okay. I'll go ahead and expand this again. Let's take a look. 843. I see it. Oh, that's a 9. 958. That was 805. Boy, I keep rolling 800s. 890. Okay, let's see. Checking chats here. 9. So it's 843 to 743. Okay. Checking it out. Roken typed 846 in. Ah, I see it there. Stage VC chat. 846. Wow. All right, I think that's the closest one of all. Congrats, Roken. Let's see. Are you currently here, Roken? I don't see you. Outside. Oh, yes. Okay. I'll trade you as soon as possible. See, and the raffle prize for our third raffle was actually going to be 1,000,000 gil with the well-bred emote. Or not was, is the, that is the prize. I'll just be trading Roken after this. Okay, friends, this is the way Q&A works. We're going to start with those that have raised hands here in stage chat. In the meantime, if you have any comments, ideas, questions, proposals, anything like that, this is the open forum Q&A segment. Anything that you want to put forward to the community, if you have comments about how much you love Azure and you just want to tell everybody about it, you want to thank the council or other members here, this is a great place for that as well. We also do have a appreciation channel now in general section of Discord. It's also a great place to post some things like that as well. If you have questions about anything here today, we've talked a lot about wings, roles in the community, things that are needed, events that are coming up, current event changes, policy changes, activity levels, everything that we've talked about. If you have any questions at all, feel free, anything at all, any input at all in chat, we'll read it off. Or if you want to raise hand here, we'll start one at a time, starting with council. I sent an invite to Nikki, Lieutenant Nikki Chu. Hey, Nikki, welcome to the stage.
Oh, okay. Hi. Just to recap what you said earlier, Rika, at the beginning of this meeting, about people asking for help in the FC chat and then maybe not getting answers, especially like to the newer members. I know I haven't been as active as I used to be a couple months ago, but
Oops.
Life was lifing, and I hope that changes. But I definitely encourage you guys, if you need help with something or if you want to run content, even though Rika's really great at updating events, to like direct message me on Discord. Definitely a better way to get a hold of me for help if you need anything rather than FC chat. Sometimes I don't pay attention to it. I'm a little guilty of that. That or just asking on Discord, Final Fantasy 14 chat in general, just like not utilizing FC chat on the game as your only resource. And then as far as like higher content, I'm not as knowledgeable of higher content like ultimates or rating, but I can certainly try to direct you in the right direction. But if there's something like an EX1 run, you want to start gathering your wings because the new wings are coming out soon. And like the earlier EX, I can definitely help with that. Or if it's like EX3, which I haven't done yet, I'm happy to learn it with you. So just direct message me on Discord. It's just easier that way. That's all I have to really add.
Well said, Nikki. Thank you very much. And you are right. It is helpful to remember that, there is alternate ways to contact leadership, scouts. If you need something, if you ask for something in the chat and it gets buried, don't forget a DM away. Even more so than tells. Tells are not bad as well. A lot of people have notifications set for those as well. But DM is also extremely, it's very direct and very easy for everybody to see too. As well as LFG channels. If there's other things too, you kind of want to highlight that you want to do. But yeah, thank you, Nikki.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay, we have Mikey Massacre. Mikey's typing. Saw your hand raised there. Let me go ahead and expand chat again here. Oh, that's okay. Maybe just clicked it or something. Let's see. Again, too, comments, proposals, ideas, questions, all welcome to post in chat as well. And we'll read that off. That's in any of our chats. Let's see here. Okay, we have, let's see. Next was Cortalis. Cortalis invited to the stage. Welcome to the stage, Cortalis.
So essentially, if anybody remembers me from last month as the new guy that is loud and proud about it, we talked a lot this meeting about like elitism and stuff, and basically what I approached about last time was something that some people would consider elitism. I enjoy the hiring content, as I've found quite a few other people do as well. So there's a few things I want to bring up. One, I'd like to plug the fact that I'm still working on a static and have had a lot of people reach out to me at various levels of experience and all of that. And I'd just like to throw out there that anybody that's interested in the higher end content, please reach out to me. The easiest way for me has been I've just been kind of adding people to my friends list that have the interest in that type of stuff. I want to really throw out there experience level, not worried about, even level, not worried about. It's all for fun. It's just for people that enjoy maybe the research, the difficulty, the camaraderie of beating a hard fight, that type of stuff. And I don't know, maybe if I get more interest than what I can make out of a group, a static group can handle, maybe I could reach out to like Coco or something, since I mean he trains kind of harder content, so maybe he'd like to help me out with it. But I'd just like to throw that out there again and see what kind of interest we have at any level of experience, like I said. And then also, you talked a lot about kind of filling roles and all that.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, I've been loud, but I've only been here like a month. But the whole scout thing, I will say, interests me.
Mm-hmm.
I just like helping people.
Okay, yeah.
And I think that's all I can think of that I wanted to say.
Okay, yeah. Well, just to comment on the first topic that you mentioned, there's nothing wrong with doing high end content. We don't consider that in itself elitism. I just wanted to reiterate that that our guild overall, we don't try to come off as hardcore raiders only type thing is basically what I was mentioning earlier. But there's absolutely nothing wrong with advertising that you want to do a static and high end raids and stuff like that. Just wanted to reiterate that. That's not the elitism that I was mentioning.
I had a feeling.
Yeah,
I just
yeah.
yeah.
Well, like with the wings specifically, our goal is to make sure that like they have a kind of a welcoming nature to players of all levels of experience and interests. And then with our community in whole, we don't look for people based on how much they know of the game. It's more of how community minded they are, and so it's not the same thing. It's just I just wanted to reiterate that. I didn't say you were saying that. I was just I just wanted to reiterate that. The second thing without Scout, that's the funny thing is a lot of people are already doing similar to what scouts do all the time, which is being helpful, being involved in the community, helping others with runs, being one of the first ones to offer your blade or your fist or your staff to a cause. That's very good as well. And then just being those eyes and ears and staying connected to the channels. We only really ask that people are within the community for roughly a month before bringing them up. It's not a very like huge step up. It's not like I said, it's not like leadership. But if you have interest in Scout, we can pull you up and get you connected and everything like that. And then you'll be able to see the event reports and recruitment reports and the Scout chat and those support channels. And we have something called Assist HQ, which is a forum that just hosts things like our ban list, things like recruitment guides, protocols for certain things. It's a small list of things that just is a good almost like a handbook for scouts to have on hand in case they ever need. And so just everything that we can provide to help people come up and kind of understand what the ranks are. Scout is support ranks, so stepping up and as a member that's already kind of doing some of those things and helping out and being involved, I think it's it's fantastic because you kind of already are doing similar Scout things. And then of course if you're like one day you're like, oh, I don't want to be connected to all these channels, and I also just want to maintain being a helpful member. We need helpful members too. There's never any pressure to rank up, but if that's something you're interested in, sure, I can DM you right after this.
Sounds great. Thank you.
All right, Critalis, thanks for coming up. Okay, we had a raised hand from Rakvasha. Welcome to the stage, Rak. We can't hear you, Rak. Rak may be having mic issues. Oh, heard something.
There we go.
There you
my
are.
Lord. I don't know why that was. Hi.
Welcome
How
to the
are you?
stage.
Boo. So, thank you very much. For those of you that don't know me, I am Rakvasha, former council, former assist. And I just wanted to speak a little bit about the assist system and kind of go into a little bit of depth because I noticed some of you said you were interested. Some of you said that you wouldn't be interested because of either experience level or because you believe there might be a lot of responsibility that comes with it. And so I kind of want to delve into that just a little bit for you without going too deep.
Mm-hmm.
Assist is split into many, many different levels of both responsibility as well as kind of overall priority in the FC. So just going into the assist system, going into being a scout, doesn't take much at all. It's a lot about just being there for the community, monitoring FC chat for any kind of disturbances in the FC or any kind of squeaky wheels that might need some grease. There's really no responsibility behind it. It's not like you have to be online all the time. You don't have to address every problem that comes up. You're not forced to edit any kind of play that you have to go through. It's just a lot about taking care of the community. It's the stuff that you do every single day when you log on and you say, hey, good morning. Hey, how are you? Thanks for logging in. Do you guys need anything? What's up? It's a lot of the same things that you will always be doing every single day just because you love the community. So never think that going into the assist levels or going into scout or even going into council would ever edit or change anything that you want to do in the game anyway. Like, it's all about the community, it's all about the people. And so if you're interested in helping take care of that community, give back to that community, and be a part of something that may or may not be bigger than yourself, Scout is a great way to just start. Dip your toes in, see if you're interested. It doesn't take anything really to get started. And you could find that it is way more fulfilling than what you originally expected. And who knows, you may want to increase your rank and go up through the system and eventually be council. I was a scout for, like a year. And then, I went all the way up to lieutenant, and it was very rewarding. I found that it put me into a position where I was able to take care of others regardless of my experience in certain things. There's always somebody that can cover for what you lack, but you can always cover for what somebody else lacks as well. And working together is how this FC becomes a family. It becomes amazing. It becomes a community. So just keep that in mind whenever you're looking at assist and you're thinking, oh, well, this might not be for me, but I mean, it might. So just, keep an open mind.
Well said. Very well said. I wanted to mention that one common misconception is that scouts have to recruit. They have the ability to, but people sometimes tell me that they're not into recruitment and they're afraid to step up. And it's not it's not leadership. It's support. Being a supportive member with the scout role, gives you access to support channels. But sometimes people rank up and they actually find a lot of joy in helping recruit, and then many other people, of different, variety of preferences and playing the game or anxieties or things like that. Recruitment's not for them, and that's totally fine. We don't judge scouts based on recruitment. Sergeants are scouts that, in some way beyond being, a scout, have helped with, mass amounts of recruitments and event attendance and just an overall higher level of activity. But we need people at all levels, and like Rax said, it's about making it count. And sometimes, we don't see it as much of a ladder as we see it a horizontal need for, really good sergeants, really good scouts, really good captains, etc. So there's a lot of opportunities within Assist. It's a whole support network that's been designed for Azure. And, Rack, it was awesome, having you go from one stage to the next, and you're a great example. I really appreciate you sharing these words today.
You're welcome. I just hope that, maybe it inspires somebody who was kind of on the fence to, pursue their way up and, make lieutenant like I did. Yeah.
Yeah. From going to assist to council, for sure. Because sometimes, you have folks that never intended originally to become future leadership, but they see from the, at least, you don't get the full back end until you're really in council, but to see a little bit behind the curtain on operations and, what sort of chats are had amongst the scout team and, just different things like that, getting to that point, and then they eventually find, oh man, well, this is easy. Well, what about the next step? Okay, this step fits me really well. And then they get to the next step. And before you know it, some, not all, but some will eventually get into event hosting. And then from there, we're like, hey, do you want to take one more level and see, what that's like? And then we end up with leaders. And everybody that's in leadership was once someone who stepped up from member to become a scout, and then, got into our system and really enjoyed helping out at each level. So that's kind of how we've, over the years, we've been able to develop each tier of these ranks and made it to, to this point where, you can kind of do, your pace. It's all about your pace. I like for people to kind of be more comfortable, but also feel like they're contributing to the community. And having a rank in a guild like, the size of Azure, where you feel proud of that rank and you're not just another, just another lieutenant or just another scout. Like literally everybody on our team contributes in some way or another. And like I said at the beginning, sometimes you don't know what upper ranks are all doing to contribute because you may not see them all the time, or maybe the times you're on, you don't see them. Keep in mind that, we do run a pretty tight ship in regards of talking with people who are not using their rank ever for anything. So you can be assured that, everybody's doing something in some form. And like I said, scouts, not leadership. So, their support. So sometimes just being a consistent individual who is helpful, that means a lot, and like you said, it could lead to future leadership as well. And that's something we need. We need that at all levels right now. So, every time council and scouts grow, it's one more level of strength added to our teams. So, yeah, thank you, Rack. Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, we have a hand raise from Hellfire. I'm gonna bring Hellfire up. Hey, Hellfire, welcome to the stage.
Hey, what's up? Can y'all hear me well?
Yes, loud and clear.
All right. Yeah, I'm using my phone because I'm still working on my PC while I'm talking.
Okay, it sounds good. Okay.
Yeah. Only thing I was actually really gonna say, like, I do myself. I see people that ask for help. And if I'm on, and you see me on, don't be shy to ask me for help. No, I'm not leadership. I'm new, like some of y'all people here. I just got back out the year break anyway. But like if you like lower content, if you're new to the game especially, I definitely don't mind helping you out, like clearing all the old extremes or anything like that. So feel free, if you see me on, see me mess around with Discord, just say, hey, Hellfire, if you got time, can you swing out help? If I'm free, I have no problem with helping. Just ask. Because sometimes leadership can be busy. I understand that all too well. But so if you see me, just ask. That's all I want to say. And thanks for inviting me to the guild too.
Oh, well, thank you so much for saying that and letting everybody know, how approachable you are. You've been a great new recruit and member of ours. And, we're glad to have you. We're glad to have you.
Well, I appreciate you. Thank you. Do you want me to go and step down or you got it?
I'll just move you back down.
All right.
All right. Thanks again, my friend.
No problem.
Okay, and one more call here in case we have anybody else who wants to come to the stage. If you've got feedback, proposals, ideas, questions, this is the open forum / Q&A segment of our assembly here. Announcements have concluded, though we do have a couple more minutes if needed. If anybody else has anything they'd like to put forward to the rest of the community. Again, questions, proposals, comments. This is a place to do so. If you've got statics you'd like to form, or you're, looking to join one, if you've got weddings or eternal bonds, and doesn't just have to be for FF14. This is our community-wide assembly. So if there's stuff in other games that you want to get into or talk about, if you're going to do a, go collecting furnishings as a little mini event over in WoW, or you're going to go run some, different planets over in Warframe, this is our open forum segment. So let's see. Defensor has requested to speak. General Defensor Fortis, welcome. Can't hear you, Diff. Mic issues? It's okay. Check Discord audio and video stuff. Sometimes it'll swap around on you. Oh, heard something.
All right, how's that?
You're hearable. It doesn't sound like you normally though. A little
Yeah,
bit
I had to
muffled.
shut it off OBS,
Okay.
but pretty much, I was just going to add on to what Nikki was saying. With we have had some people that would leave because they felt ignored, but I promise you, if you're not being ignored, there's a very good chance that people that would normally help are AFK, getting food, taking care of kids, going to the bathroom. Because there's been plenty of times where I've come back and responded to a message that happened 15, 20 minutes ago.
Mm-hmm.
But that was before I put timestamps on my messages. So I just wanted to reiterate that, you know, you're not being ignored. It's just not being seen because of either chat activity or people just being tabbed out or away from their game for the moment.
Right. Yeah. Yeah, that's why I recommend, maybe if you're starting to feel that way, check the FC menu. You can see that there are folks AFK or in duties. Maybe they can't get to you right away, so they might not answer in chat because they don't feel like answering if they don't know how much longer a trial or a dungeon is going to take them. And just kind of keep in mind. But like Nikki was saying earlier, don't feel afraid to reach out. You can DM, you can come to any leadership. A lot of scouts, don't mind if, because they can also post in support. If there's something you need, I'm really struggling on this trial. Can anybody help me? And, sometimes all it takes is a ping from some of our scouts and, hey, this member messaged me and they're needing this. And then a whole bunch of us jump on and help that person knock out whatever it is. So yeah, 100%. That's a good point, Def.
All right. I think that's about it for me for now.
All right, Def. I appreciate you coming up and joining the stage here. All right. Anybody else? Any other final comments, questions, proposals, ideas? Let's see. Notice that Dorian said, I always am good to help out. I play on controller. If I am doing something like a dungeon or raid, I might not have the possibility to drop the controller right away and type as well. If I'm around and someone is asking for help and I'm available, you bet. That is Dorian Helmut. Thank you. Idea proposals. Yes. I want to make sure that we haven't missed anybody else here. Got a very, very active FC chat going on here. Okay. And keep in mind too, I know we know that not everybody may want to ask something publicly in voice or chat. So, you can always DM myself. I know a lot of other council members are happy to answer questions or, hear ideas or feedback as well. Don't forget, we also have that new appreciation channel, that's been suggested a couple times. And I was like, oh, you know what? We've had this for anniversaries, but it was one of the anniversary channels that I felt could become a normal channel because sometimes, people want to express something. They want to tell, their story of how they were helped or who they're appreciative to, or maybe new recruits can see that kind of stuff and be like, man, okay, it looks like there's a lot of folks here that are expressing the good things that they want to put out there that they've experienced. So that's there. That's available for everybody to share if you wish to. There's a couple old posts that were still left from old anniversaries, and I just went ahead and left them in the channel there. But feel free to add to that channel. It's a little bit better than just posting in general chat, hey, thanks for everybody that helped me with this, and then it gets buried, so it's a good option. Let me double check here. No other hand raising. Let's see. Okay. All right, guys. It has been an extra long assembly with a great Q&A and open forum phase. Yep, that was my Moogle going off. Moogle also says, thank you guys. And, yeah, it's been fantastic. Again, one last recap here. Today we talked about the state of Azure Infinitum. We announced the upcoming Azure Grand Duel Tournament 31 with the prize pot starting now in the FC chest. We have talked about activity, policy, and updates, which you can find recaps of in announcements channel. Everything recent like that is going to be there. We welcomed a lot of faces. I didn't even count the number. It was a lot of people who have joined us over the last month. Very awesome. One last big welcome to our new members and recruits. We also talked about, or we had the induction ceremony of 2 new Azure Infinitum generals joining the Skies Guard. First recon of the Infinitum, General Kokuzuko Suzusamu, and wait, did we announce Roken's? We didn't announce Roken's title, did we? Oh my gosh. Okay, Roken, the first Ranger of Azure Infinitum, General, joining the Skies Guard. And we also had Lieutenant Darnell Diamondust's promotion moment there, and spotlight. We talked about the rankings, a lot about how the boosters are doing their thing and how we're legitimately up at the top of Midgard and how much we appreciate our members, our purposes and the reasons for tracking that data and how we, record that and look at it. Not official recording, but yeah. Let's see. I was notified of a name that didn't get named for returns, Taylori and Asher. Yep, 100% welcome and welcome back. We had talked about overall community needs, the needs for wing commanders, pathfinders, new scouts and council promotions that we are working on this year, given recent developments and server openings and the snowball effect that we're seeing with how well things are going across the community and how much we're looking at building structure this year. This is a big year for structure as well. We're kind of at that point right now in activity that we kind of plan for an expansion. However, we're going to keep pushing beyond that and keep filling out the wings and rosters of our different guilds, including our 14 core, as we call it. Patch 7.5 plans included Monstrous Mondays, NOO Extreme starting May 4th, as well as the return of Azure 24-Man Tuesdays, Vanadil Trilogy starting Day 1, Week 1 clears on April 28th, hosting a part blind and non-blind call-out run. We've got new rewards coming to other events. The end of the PvP season ending April 27th with the maintenance on the 27th. We also talked about individual things going on with the wings and what events and things are going on in those games as well. And we covered a lot today. So that definitely went over, about a good 45 minutes. Not that there was a total cap on the assembly time, but we do appreciate, I know I very much appreciate, Council very much appreciates everybody in our community who, was able to attend, those who are listening to this Azure Assembly Cast in the future, uploaded on YouTube as soon as possible. And everybody that came for raffles and participated in today's meeting, those who came up to the stage as well. Thank you guys. It's been fantastic 3 hours here, and thank you for just your continued support and just being the best members I've ever seen or had in our community in so long. This is the best era of Azure. I'm loving every second of it, and I'm so happy for how fluid our teams are working right now, and everybody in scouts, from recruiters to those helping host stuff and event hosts to council leaders. Thank you guys, and our members who respect the rules and love our community too, and everybody who calls Azure home. Thank you guys, and I hope you guys have a rest of your weekend. Be wonderful, and have a great couple more days here before we get back to the weekly grind. And we're looking forward to FanFest for FF14 next week. Some big announcements coming, as well as our watch party and raffles that we're going to do. The watch party chat, or the FanFest chat that we've had going for many years, has been revived and put in the FanFest category. It's still at the point where you can still scroll up and see some old photos and things like that. Hopefully we've got, I know we've got 4 or 5 people who are actually going to the show. Those that are there, we'd love to see your photos and stuff from the show floor. It would be really cool for us at the watch party to see. We're just looking forward to all the fun to come, and we will have our next assembly in May. Talk a little bit more about our mid-year events, the next Azure Day weekend, and more. So look forward to all the fun to come, and again, appreciate you guys, and thanks for coming to the assembly today.